Well, guys, welcome to episode 10, spine number 10 of Chasing Labels. This is a very exciting episode. I'm Stephen Billings, and as with me is my friend Andrew Cabral. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Glad to be back. Seems like we were just here the other day, which I think we were just here the other day.
Well, that's how it is.
And then we are now going from single digits to the limited edition era of Chasing Labels, now to the double digits in 10. Or X, if you want to go with Roman numerals, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and we couldn't have picked it just happenstance. This monumental double-digit episode is landing right when we're going to have maybe our biggest guest yet. I mean, I know it's only 10 episodes, but these guys, specifically our guest here, was very gracious to come on and talk with us. And this is our first guest from one of these boutique labels that we love. And this is from Severin Films. We got Mr. Andrew Furtado here to join us. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing just great. I'm so happy to be the first and easily beaten guest as soon as you get a second one. But I'm very excited. I appreciate you guys having me on and appreciate that you guys are doing podcasts about physical.
Yeah, it's
and didn't call it Let's Get Physical.
You know what? It came close. That was like the second one. You know, I know it was easy, but it was like the second one. But I was like, nah, I don't want people to think that this is a music podcast about what's her name?
Or an exercise podcast.
Or exercise podcast. Yeah, I don't want that. But yeah, I mean, look, there's no competition here. I mean, we of course all have our opinions on who's the better labels, but that doesn't matter. The physical media is what matters. The movies is what matters. And so to start out, let's just get a little bit of background about what you do for Severin. And if you want to have any personal info before Severin you want to share with us.
Sure, man. I started out as an editor. I've been in boutique labels for like 10 years now. Basically got my first start with Scream Factory. I was the one who re-edited Nightbreed, the director's cut, with Clive Barker, and that was kind of my first foray. Won a couple Saturn Awards for that, and continued working in restoration and really finding a real passion in that. And a couple years, maybe 5 years ago, I started working with Severin out of sheer luck. A friend of mine who works with him a lot was like, hey, they need somebody, and I started off month to month, and eventually they were like, you're kind of awesome, let's continue working together. And now I'm the post-production coordinator for them, working mainly in the feature realm, working in restoration. I'm kind of the first and last person to dole out stuff. So in the past 5 years, things that it's hard to fully say, because like our company is very much so intertwined. Everyone kind of does everything because it's not a huge company. And my main thing, though, what I mainly work on are the features themselves, getting those looking as good as possible. The best way to fully express what I do, you might notice a lot of what I've focused on trying to make the releases better, and is the bit rate of our discs are pretty much around industry standard now. I know a lot of people are always like, compression stinks, and it does, which is why I've been trying to fix it. I'm as much a collector as I am an employee, so I'm always on places like Blu-ray.com and all these places, just seeing what's out there, geeking out about that, seeing what other people are doing, how everyone's reacting, and trying to find ways to make us stay on top or stay close to top, because it's, in my opinion, there's 3 labels out there who are consistently killing it as far as quality of releases, quality of the release itself, and bonus features and stuff like that. And I feel like we are very fortunate to be at least in the conversation, or at least being our logo being put on memes of people getting beaten up brutally.
Well, I can say this. Look, it's a lot of these labels out there, and some have more deeper pockets than others, so they have that advantage. But I can tell you that there is no lack of passion at Severin Films. So I think that's important to recognize when you're choosing where you to spend your money. And I can tell you, me and Andrew are pretty new to Severin. I mean, I think I'm a little ahead of him, but I've gotten your Andy Milligan set. I've gotten
boy,
your
good for you.
yeah, Al Adamson.
It's tough.
Yeah. Well, so I haven't gotten too far into him yet, but I have watched a couple of the movies. Al Adamson, I've gotten some of your recent stuff like Grizzly, which was fantastic. I loved Grizzly, and I loved Day of the Animal. They were both fun, kind of animal attack movies, and so I'm pretty early days too myself, but I'm loving the stuff you guys are putting out, and I'm getting into exploitation, and you guys are kind of like, that's your main. I feel like you're.
I appreciate you saying that, because basically something that I love that always gravitated me towards Severin is one of the co-creators of Severin, David Gregory, my boss. Him and the other creators, they don't release movies just because they're movies that they could afford. They're movies that almost always have a backstory personal to them. Even one of the most wild and insane movies that I can't believe exists is Invasion of the Blood Farmers, which if you haven't grabbed during the sale, specifically, I recommend it 100%. It is magnificently bad. And I was like, David, why on earth did you buy this movie? And he had a full story as to why he bought it, because he remembers seeing it on the shelves, thinking that cover is too good to not be a good movie, and going, wow, this movie was terrible. I'm like, so you're trying to make everyone feel the disappointment you felt as a child. That's so sweet. And something I love that we do, because David started in bonus features, like his first big project was about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it was for Blue Underground, I believe. But he continued working with Blue Underground and Bill Lustig and making bonus features for them on some amazing releases. And he really got a knack for creating context to the content, which is something that I wanted to create the Severin Films podcast with them, is because sometimes these movies, as you're saying, like, you're new to this label, you might not know a lot about what these movies are. And half of the fun is the story and finding a connection into the film itself. And David, Carl, and Zach, and all the people I work with have such great context and insight on these films that it's genuinely fascinating. And David tries to find even like the most minuscule people and get them on camera talking about the films. And you bring up Day of the Animals, another one that I'm very proud of, because my friend Monty Cox is on that one. He was the animal trainer for all of those animals. And he tells an amazing story that I never would have heard otherwise, where he went to a bar with a bunch of rattlesnakes in his pockets and threw them at the locals who were bullying crew members. It's amazing.
That's great. That's great.
But that's just one story, and like, it's just insane. Like, so that kind of context, like, is so, I think it enhances the viewing experience. One of my favorite things about going to the theater, one of the reasons I moved out here in LA, is to go see movies. And there's theaters that do introductions and give you that context up front, so when you watch the movie, you're even more amazed than if they just hit play. And that's kind of what David has really cultivated as far as like our bonus features and our style of bonus features and the trailers, and giving you more than just the film, more than just a one-time watch experience. And that's why I think our releases have not transcended, but they definitely have strong rewatch value. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think right. I try. As me and Andrew, discuss all the different types of film, I try to always remind the audience that, when you're filling up your collections, I don't think you should always stop at looking for what is considered the great art, out there. I think it's important to also look at the other side of that. And not that there isn't some great art. You got Overboard in your collection coming now, so that's a
hell yeah, man.
Yeah, I know, right? Which has got, of course, a great story behind why it was picked up. But there.
Next to Absurd.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Or Anthropophagus and Overboard on the same label, finally.
I mean, if you guys were looking for a theme, I mean, there it is. I mean, it's all together. But I always try to remind people that... We found a
very weird way.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we found a very weird way of considering Overboard a Severin title, and we found another, just so you know, buckle up, because September's coming, and there's a title. If you thought Overboard was weird, September's going to throw you for a loop. It's another David Passion project that we've been working on, and it is very different, but it is like, yeah, I can't really go much
Of course,
deeper than
of course
that.
not. Please tease stuff and then just go into the wind. But
Well, chances are we'll end up covering it when it gets announced anyway.
yeah, of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So telling you now, it's no, I'm just kidding. I can't.
You know what? Let's just get ahead of this.
Right.
But no, like I was saying, I like to remind people that I like to, it's something I definitely have worked on myself, is not trying to just go after the high art, but there's some low art that has value too. And especially when you add the context of personal stories from the people that were around when they came out and things like that. I really enjoy that. And that's what gets me excited about discovering, in buying these films and not feeling upset, not feeling too bad about buying a movie that maybe isn't necessarily great, but has some kind of value in, like you said, the special features that you guys put out for these films is what adds a lot of great value to buying these releases. So yeah, I mean,
I also think that one of the most, I guess, important things when it comes to specifically Severin is that these films are available, a lot of them in high quality for the first time, a lot of them probably being available to the masses really for the first time, unless you kind of were
usually.
one of the people who grew up in the VHS days of like, video rental stores and whatnot. You probably never even heard of any of these movies.
Yeah.
So I think just discovering these for the first time myself is in and of itself a great adventure. Doing research on the crop of releases we're going to talk about now, they were really difficult to find, to be able to watch, and damn near impossible. Specifically on streaming. Streaming, it has its limits. I guess that's why, we talk mostly about physical media. But to find any of these movies streaming, if you were even curious, remotely curious, is nearly impossible. So that's why you have to seek out a Severin in order to see them but not only see the movie, but like you said, you get the wealth of information that comes with it. You get the context of the movies, you get all the special features, and of course you get people who are really putting, I say this, boutique labels, specifically Severin and others, are putting in more effort into their releases than I see more mainstream or higher upper tier, release studios doing. And that's always heavily appreciated. Specifically as a collector who wants to, maximize, what we're spending our money on.
Yeah, it's I will say, like, Vinegar Syndrome has been upping their game on bonus features lately, and I'm here for it. I don't know if you picked up Champagne and Bullets, but motherfucker, do it. I love that movie. Oh man, I'm so excited. I haven't gotten to Six String Samurai yet. That's my dyslexia trying to punch me in the face. But no, Champagne and Bullets is amazing. The director, the writer, the star is a lawyer who decided he wants to spend like a ton of money just making a movie where he can grope women and pay them for it. It's amazing. And they got a commentary with them, and I was so excited because I'm like, if John DeHart doesn't giggle through the sex scenes, I don't know. Like, I'm just so excited just to get in there and see what's in there, because he gave them full cooperation, gave them the best version of the film. They have 3 cuts on the film, one of which I've seen like a dozen times at a theater out here in LA. And like, so anyways, stuff like that is it like you're saying, a lot of VHS covers and VHS releases, sometimes even they're 4:3 and they're just pushed in, or they're cropped. They're not even pan and scan. Like for a long time in America, Petita Durango was only available in a 4:3 pan and scan, or a region B. I think it was from Spain. Mercury Films did a Blu-ray that was not great as far as the color and the quality of the element. But the VHS out here, when I was doing a comparison to make, because a lot of what I do also is to make sure that we have the uncut version. We're not missing anything. Sometimes that happens and we have to venture out, similar to our story with Retribution. Yeah, like, the VHS was so bad. It was, no offense to people who love VHS and love that aesthetic, but watching an amazing 2.35 film be pushed into a 4:3 image and just shoved around, when the image of the 2.35 is so amazing, like, it's just, it hurt me. I'm always so happy to give that better image. And something else that we do is we focus on more so than quality of the image of the element, we focus on quality of the film. Some films that are so good that have been lost, like a lot of the video, David has really focused on video nasties.
Yeah.
And getting out as many video nasties in as HD as possible, because people deserve to see these films that were lost and kind of told that they shouldn't belong and destroyed. And like Born for Hell, for example, that is an Escape from Women's Prison is another one that those films, what we have is all that's available.
Yeah.
And
Crazy.
it's insane. And sure, it's from a print or like a really damaged element, but we've done our best to restore it and make it as pristine as possible, given the quality of the element, because those kind of films, the original camera negatives don't exist anymore. And that's something I love about what we do specifically, is focusing our attention on getting these films out there and getting people like stuff to have their wives be mad they bought later. I think that's what's really important.
Yeah, because I'm going to show my kids this stuff. So
I'm all
Hell
about. I'm all about one, aspect ratio for me. I'm an aspect ratio snob, so I can't watch a movie knowing that it's in the wrong aspect ratio. Like, it just bothers me to no end. So I'm with you on that. Also, I think film preservation and restoration is just paramount to saving, cinematic history, if you will, if you want to have a huge umbrella term. And like you said,
I'll
a
put
lot
my
of these
cape on.
films, a lot of these
Terrible
films just don't. Yeah, a lot of these films, like, don't exist in original camera negative forms and stuff like that. And it's really just paramount and important, I think. And that's why, like, I think a part of what Severin does and Vinegar Syndrome and all these other labels is also taking part in preservation and restoration with the new masters they're creating and new things that they're doing with the camera elements, just kind of reviving them and whatnot. That's super important for me when it comes to Severin. Like Steven said, Steven's more in depth with it than I am. I'm slowly making my way through it. I do have The Changeling, which I did get. George C. Scott was kind of doing some crazy stuff back in the 70s. And also, I've got the Christopher Lee set. The Eurocrypt set is on its way to me. I just got my hands on the Lindsay Baker Complete Collection set. That's
Just
also
went
on
out
its
of
way
print
to me.
too. Good for you.
Yeah.
I got it right when it went out of print.
Yeah, we both had this same thing happen to us, where we both were like, okay, because I'm a little bit low on money. I don't know about Andrew, but I was like, I'm only going to be able to get a couple things from this sale, unfortunately. I got Blood for Dracula, and I also ordered The Changeling myself, and then I was like, God, I really want that Lindsay Baker set, but hopefully it'll be still around. And of course, then it goes right out of print, and I'm like, shit. And then I was like,
What's
okay.
crazy-
I went over to Amazon. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to just take my chances with Amazon, I guess. Damn it.
Yeah, what's crazy is I messaged Steven, like, hey, Steven, do you have this set yet? Because usually Steven gets more stuff in than I do. So last episode, I called him my point man. So, like, he'll get stuff and I'll ask him about it. Just before I, dive in. We're on, like, different end.
Oh, you got a point man?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we're yin yang, basically, when it comes to collecting. So I literally, as soon as I messaged him about it, a few hours later, it goes out of print. And I was telling Steven earlier, I knew that this was going to go out of print for the sale price that it was on Severin.com. I knew it was going to go, and of course it did. And I got it right in that sweet spot, right before the aftermarket numbers skyrocket. There's that cushion area, for a few hours or maybe a day before things skyrocket.
Yeah.
I had that happen once where I bought the Sinbad set. And then cause it was, I bought it for like $100. I was like, whatever, I bought it. And then the guy saw it sold for $450 the next day, canceled my order, popped up his thing for $500. I was like, you bastard.
Oh, that is fucked
you
up.
motherfucker. I was so mad. So mad. But collecting is cutthroat, man. I'm so happy to be part of that terrible system of creating things that are in demand. It's like hazing people. No, I'm just kidding. It's not like that at all. I'm so happy that we're making something people deem worthy of collecting. And something that I love is seeing a very low amount of what we do being flipped or sold used. It's usually people buying it sealed to be a dick. Like that means, hopefully, anyways, I hope that means people like what we're doing enough to keep it.
Yeah.
But it does suck. Like I remember Trailer Trauma from Garage House Pictures put out Trailer Trauma 2, and I wish this is something we could do, but due to licensing and stuff like that, it's a little harder when Harry owns all of the trailers that he puts on these lists. Do you know about Harry and Garage House Pictures?
No.
Baby, get in that. Join me for a moment.
I'm joining.
Garage House
We're
Pictures
here for you, man.
Is an amazing. They have a series of things called Trailer Traumas, which are just trailer compilations. And I love trailer compilations because that's how I find out about a lot of movies that I don't know. And Trailer Trauma 3 is just 80s horror trailers. And it's 7.5 hours long.
Holy shit.
And there was a moment, and he's a hardcore trailer collector, and he has a ton. We work with him every once in a while. He's very cool. His company put out the only other Andy Milligan films that aren't in our box set, the later LA stuff. But that Trailer Trauma disc was going for $150 minimum selling price on eBay. It was insane. And Harry was like, yeah, fuck that. Buy it from me for $25. I'm putting them back up. It's been out of print, but I can't sit with that shit. And I was like, I wish we could do stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's just so run and gun. And I respect him for that. I think that was awesome. But he just put out an incredible one of like Italian action movies. I can't recommend his trailers enough. Yeah, like, there are so many, like I am a victim of scalping as well. Unfortunately, sometimes there's a title you just got to own and you just got to deal with it and suck it up. But every once in a while, when you get it for a fair price, baby, nothing feels better. I don't know.
Doesn't.
I haven't had a kid yet, but maybe if I do, that might feel better. Who knows? But until then, it's buying an out of print title at a fair price.
Yes.
Oh, I used to go well, I mean, back probably early 2010s when like used movie stores, there would be a bunch of them around. Now they've kind of just gone away. I would just spend hours just going like row by row, like DVD by DVD, Blu-ray by Blu-ray, just trying to find like diamonds in the rough of like out of print stuff that like these people that the stores had no idea what they had in stock. They had no idea of what they had. And, I used to do that, but now all the stores unfortunately have closed, which has of course been affecting physical media in a big bad way, I think. And it's been really unfortunate that most of my buying now is done online. Brick and mortar stores are kind of going the way, at least up here where I live. Up here in like the Northeast, it's just like there's not a lot of them around. There's mostly chain stuff, and even the chain stuff, they're not selling anything. They're not even selling anything remotely boutique now. I mean, you're lucky if you find a Shout Factory release at a mainstream
Best Buy
like,
might have a
store.
Shout Factory, or
You know what I've found? I'm going to share a trick that I learned from a friend of mine. Go to Target, check the clearance section in the media section, like the bins over there. Sometimes people will buy something online and they just won't pick it up. I got Road Games brand new for $8 with slip. And I was like, oh,
holy
baby,
shit.
this is amazing. It was gone.
It was Walmart's and Targets where you could you can find a lot of those out of print like Scream Factory and Shout Factory releases that were
because people will buy it online
print.
and they just won't pick it up and they'll just put it back on the thing for a discount price. I remember, but I'm a big Region B guy. I have a Region Free player, so I love like Eureka 88 and all these great title releases over there. I love finding like Region B things, so that's a little harder. But man, like. Finding like a little nugget like that is always very exciting.
Yeah, I got
it. Really
check your targets.
Yeah, I Walmart. I got both of my sets. I got the Fly set and I got the Omen set, both from Walmart. It's like who? I guess nobody wanted these. Okay, fine, I'll take them.
Unfortunately, all the ones around here have just reduced their movie sections down to not even bargain bins anymore.
Yeah.
It's not even bargain bins anymore.
Yeah, it's
just nothing.
It's sad.
Time to
here.
move.
Just
move.
Yeah, but the aftermarket stuff like you're talking about like that, me and Andrew talk about this all the time, but I'm the pre-order guy now, so I try not to have to go through that anymore. I guess after I had to do that with the Sinbad set and the Night of the Demon indicator release, I had to go, and buy it for more than I would like. I kind of was like, look, I'm not going through this again. I'm just going to pre-order what I want. If I don't have the money, I'm just going to keep an eye out until I have money. So, and Andrew, and if you saw the meme, if you go to our Instagram, I put a meme out from Willy Wonka where I'm Faruka, who's like, I want it now, and Andrew's and Andrew's more like Willy Wonka, who's like, the suspense is killing me. Like he'll wait around and see if things are gonna drop in price or something. Sure. And me,
I'm a very particular hunter when it comes to movies. Every single day, my first stop is Blu-ray.com. I want to see what's dropped in price on Amazon. If any of my local Best Buy stuff has dropped in price, and then kind of just check around. When I said this on the podcast a while ago, when Blu-ray.com was down for 2 weeks, I didn't know what to do with myself.
I remember that.
Yeah. I didn't know, because that's where I go for all of my info. Hey, if I want to look up a release, I go there. If I want to look up a pricing, I go there. And it's just when it was down, I was like, I don't know what to do. I got no place to go. Mm-hmm. Well, my computer's useless now.
Well, that was a nice long introduction, more than I thought it would be, but we got really excited talking collecting.
Yeah, we actually got to dive into some new info.
Yeah, so let's get into our actual normal episode. And before we get into all the great Severin releases for the mid-year, Severin Nukes, the mid-year sale, before we get into all them titles that our guest is going to run through and help explain why you should maybe buy some of these titles, we're going to go over the only other announcements that were deeming worthy this week, which is the Arrow Video announcements.
I love the way you said that, deeming worthy.
Well, we could throw
as if we're the end all be all.
We could throw Kino releases in there, but they always got something, so we could just.
They got a few, but we'll save till when they got a bunch. I think it's best to go. It's best to do Kino in bunches, because or else you're just going to get swamped.
Yeah, they got something every day. So I figure, we already got a lot on our plates today, but these Arrow announcements have to be talked about because there's some cool stuff in here. So
yes.
Let's start off with one that seems to be, it's actually more of a re-release, but now being put in a box set. We got the films of Oliver Assayas. You got 4 films that were all single released before. You got Disorder, Winter's Child, and you have Irma Vep, and you have The Demon Lover, that are all being now put into box sets. And now I don't think any of the features are changed. I think these are all the same, probably the same presentations and features.
You just repackaged, basically.
Yeah. Which the new artwork is done by Sister Hyde, it looks fantastic.
No, right on.
Yeah, Andrew, so you've seen some of these, right?
Yes, I've seen Irma Vep, but I've also seen other Olivier Assayas films, because a lot of his stuff's been released through the Criterion Collection. Summer Hours, Clouds of Sils Maria, Personal Shopper, I think, was also his film as well. And Irma Vep actually has gotten a Criterion release. I really dig his style. I mean, I do really like French cinema, but I haven't seen a lot of these other films. Most of these are from early on in his career, specifically, I believe Disorder, Winter's Child, Irma Vep were all done in the 90s, and then I think Demon Lover came out in 2002. Yeah. So they're skipping around a little bit, but like we said, it looks like a repackage of releases that they've already done in a box set, and I think it was part of their Arrow Academy line that they've now done away with.
Yeah.
So now we're starting to see these movies probably get re-released. They're probably not going to say Arrow Academy on them now. So if you want to hold on to your old discs for, I guess, collector's sake.
If the stamp of the label matters to you that much.
Yes.
But have you seen Andrew number 2? Since we're both 2 Andrews here, Andrew number 2. Have you seen any of these films, or have you seen any Assayas films?
Actually, fully unaware of him as a filmmaker.
Okay.
But I do love Arrow. As you were saying, you just said that he has Criterion films. They did the similar thing with Kieslowski films.
Yeah.
They put out a box set of his earlier stuff. I grabbed that, and I'd never heard of him before. So this is I don't know, kind of like, I love seeing someone's peak film, but I also love seeing where they come as a filmmaker. I'm not a huge French cinema person, but I mean, if it goes down in price, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you might get interested one day. Who knows? But all right. And like I said, the special features should be all the same coming over from the original discs. It doesn't seem
and they look. I mean, as the discs go along, they look like a healthy amount of special features.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's move on to the next release we got here. And this next release is from a filmmaker that I recently kind of discovered. I talked about one of these films from him that I saw recently called The Sniper, directed by Edward Dmytryk. And he directs this film called Walk on the Wild Side. So this is something I'm really definitely going to probably check out at some point. Andrew, I think you said you watched it.
I did see this movie. What's interesting about Edward Dmytryk is I don't typically seek out his work. His work seems to seek out me.
Yeah.
It's like I'll just be browsing, looking around, and then all of a sudden, hey, that's an Edward Dmytryk film. I guess I'm watching one.
Yeah.
He seems to be really one of those directors from that old Hollywood era of like the 40s and 50s, and even obviously this movie going into the 60s where he was just making work after work. I dig this movie. I really liked it. It stars Jane Fonda, Lawrence Harvey. Barbara Stanwyck is in it. It's an older role for Barbara Stanwyck because I think this movie came out in 62. And then Capucine is in this movie as well, or Capucine. She was actually in the original Pink Panther movie, which came out a year after this movie.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a darker, almost neo-noirish, if you will, kind of vibe, dealing with kind of pushing the boundaries in terms of what they could do in the early 60s, in that late Hays Code era. I dug it. I really liked it.
Awesome.
We're also getting some brand new features with it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I'm really liking that.
What we got is a high definition 1080p presentation from a new 4K.
Finally.
Yeah, from a new 4K restoration from Sony Pictures.
Nice.
Original lossless mono audio. We have an optional English subtitle for the deaf and hard of hearing. You got a brand new commentary from critic Kate Ellinger and Sam Dehan.
Ellinger.
What's that?
Kat Ellinger.
Cat. You know what? Thank you. Just
Well,
like
yeah,
Steven's gotta know her name.
Steven's going to mispronounce a lot.
I'm going to
so you'll have
mispronounce a lot of
excuse him.
things. So
All right, I won't correct him.
No,
I'll just let him be
so-
wrong.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
It's going to happen.
You should see him when it comes to like the Japanese
Oh
names.
God, the
It's gonna
Japanese
get
stuff is
tough.
killing
Oh
me.
God, I feel you.
Yeah. Brand new interview with historian and critic Richard Dyer. We got a brand new interview with Pat Kirkham, co-author of Saul Bass, A Life in Film and Design. We have an archival interview with director Edward Dmytryk, so that's exciting for me. And then still gallery of reversible sleeve with original and newly commissioned artwork from Scott Saysall. And I can say right now, that's cool because I actually have been talking with him on Instagram, so we might be having him as a guest at some point. Oh, nice. I'm excited about this release. Andrew, number 2, do you have anything to say about this film?
This is a day one buy for me, actually.
Oh, okay.
I really love Edward Dmytryk as far as like, I don't always love his films. I just love how he directs, and I love how he gets great performances from everybody. Like, look at Carpetbaggers, which is not a great film, in my opinion. It's a long film, but every performance in that movie is amazing. I don't have you guys ever seen it?
No.
It came out through Imprint in Australia.
Okay.
But it's got Carol Baker in it, Bob Cummings, Elizabeth Ashley. It is genuinely a great film about Hollywood. And it's off a great book. It's a great book, and everyone in it is so good.
Okay.
There's an incestuous relationship with Carol Baker getting sexy. So if you liked our Lindsay Baker set, get in there. I'm telling you, man. So this is one I have not seen, but like I was saying, it's always something exciting to find a working filmmaker who worked because he was good, not because he was lucky.
Oh yeah.
And after your Andrew won after your kind of description of it, I'm even more intrigued. So with that mixed with bonus features, especially if there's a Saul Bass introduction, I love Saul Bass. I have a book about that book that you were just talking about. I have that. I love Saul as a filmmaker. If you've never seen it, Phase 4, Saul Bass's only directorial film.
My
It's
goodness.
amazing.
With the giant
so-
ants? Yeah.
Oh my God, Saul Bass. I wish he did more. No, it's so anything with this kind of content on the disc as well as an incredibly interesting sounding film, I'm 100% in.
Awesome.
Yeah, I dig. I just to kind of close it out there. If you're interested in other Edward Dmytryk films, he's got quite a few on Blu-ray: Murder My Sweet, Crossfire, The Caine Mutiny, Broken Lance, The Young Lions, which has a hell of a cast in it. So yeah, his work is readily available for people wanting to collect.
Blue
some
Angel
physical
came out
stuff.
from Arrow Academy not too long
Oh,
ago.
nice.
That one I picked that up and I haven't watched it yet. I'm very excited. He's very well respected as far as like for film restoration coming along. Like he's really getting out there. As this dead guy's really killing it.
He's getting it. I hope he's really getting paid for it.
Yeah, I know, or his estate at least. I'll say this too: the cover art for the Blu-ray looks fantastic as well. What is interesting, it has a very cat motif about it because it has kind of a slanky, like feel to the movie. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
That kind of like a slithering cat. It's a really good film. I mean, just to give context, Barbara Stanwyck's basically playing like the head of a cat house, basically, in New Orleans. That's what we're dealing with here. So it's a very interesting
The
movie.
biggest cat lady in the city. I got you.
Yeah, that's what I was talking. That's what I was referring to. Clearly. But moving on
Awesome.
to our next one.
And before we get to the next one, these first two releases were actually just UK Region B only.
Okay.
So, but this next release has two different, I guess you could say, two different artwork editions coming out. One of them has a UK, US, and Canada release, and then the other one has a UK and America release. So for some reason, Canada doesn't get this other release. I don't know why, but but this when I saw this film, I was like, wait, wow, is this a Severin release? Is this the secret? And I was like, nah, it's not. It's an Arrow. Arrow does horror too, but this, I was like, man, this should have been a Severin release.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah,
I have never heard of this one. It looks so interesting just on the cover alone.
Yeah.
It's just that level of like, it reminds me of like Slugs or something like that. I have no idea what it is. And that's kind of with Arrow and their horror, it scares me sometimes because it can be amazing like The Mutilator.
Yeah.
Or it could be awful like The Mutilator,
Oh yeah.
There's no middle ground sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and this title that we're talking about is Death Screams.
What a title.
Yeah, what is it? Yeah.
Goddamn great title.
Yeah, and I do love the artwork. I mean, I like both of them. I like the darker one with the mouth, and you can see through into a graveyard with a severed woman hanging upside down. I really like that cover. So with that, we have our features here. It's limited edition content. We got brand new 2K restoration from the archival 35 millimeter print. We have an original uncompressed mono audio. We have an original English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. We have brand new auto commentary from producer Charles Eisen and special effects artist Worth Keeter. And it's moderated by filmmaker Phil Smoot. I feel like I did really good on that line.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. Brand new auto commentary from the Hysteria Continues. I guess that's maybe a site, or have you ever heard of the Hysteria Continues? No,
I haven't, but they're everywhere, man.
Yeah,
So it's
okay.
very possible. It's just a website.
Okay. All the fun, and then you got a feature called All the Fun That Scare, the Making of Death Screams, newly produced making of documentary featuring interviews with producer Charles Eisen, special effects artist Worth Keeter, writer Paul Elliott, actors Hans Manship, Kurt Rector, and actor and producer assistant supervising editor Sharon Alley, and actor talent wrangler Robert Billy Bob Melton. There's a lot of people talking on that. We have TV and radio spots. We got image galleries. We got the House of Death alternative VHS opening titles. You got two versions of the screenplay under the original title Night Screams. Do you like Night Screams or Death Screams more?
Man, I don't know. Night screaming sounds pretty scary to me.
Andrew?
I don't know. Death Screaming just sounds like almost tragically sad and frightening because it's like that's the last thing you do. scream and then.
Well, I'm going to break the tie here. I like Night Screams better because
Of course you do.
it makes
You
me
would.
think of the Bob Seger song Night Moves, and I feel like the music video for Night Moves should be this movie. I don't know
Working
why.
at a night move. I hear that.
But this also comes with a reversible cover, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm assuming none of us have seen this movie, but is there any interest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sale buy for me. Like, it's one of those ones that if it's around during a sale, I would grab it. I don't know if it's kind of my bag.
Yeah.
But I mean, it sounds interesting enough. Like, if I heard some reviews were really cool, I would grab whatever slip is available, version. But
Andrew?
I'll be honest.
Yeah, just this blurb that I'm reading here really sells the movie.
Okay.
It goes. I'm on Blu-ray.com looking at their press release. It goes under Death Screams. It goes, in one of the most unlikely cinematic pairings of all time, David Nelson, who rose to fame as a child star playing alongside his real-life family in the wholesome TV show The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, directs Playboy Playmate and adult star Susan Kiger in this body count heavy, long overlooked slice of American fried hack and slash, 1982's Death Screams. That right there is just straight up 1980s trailer overture, if I ever heard one.
Yeah.
Narration. That's a very interesting way to sell the movie. Like you said, that cover really sells it as well.
Yes, definitely. All right. Well, Andrew, you wanted to pick up from here?
Yeah, where do you want to go from here, Steven?
That's
any place?
Let's head on over to I guess our Asian release here, the Snake Girl and the Silver-Haired Witch. Let's do that one.
Okay, the Snake Girl and the Silver-Haired Witch. This looks interesting. This is from 1968, so we're now going kind of further back in time from the 80s, and I really do enjoy kind of Japanese horror. We've delved into a little bit here when we did Ugetsu, which was kind of more of a ghost story, kind of tragic romance ghost story. But movies like Kuroneko, Onibaba, Jigoku, like a lot of these like, Japanese horror films, even House, which is a huge one, is something I've always been interested in. So I'm definitely interested in this release. I'm not sure if I've seen other films from this director.
Well, I think.
Have you watched any of the Gamera?
I was going to
films?
say, yeah, he's
no.
directed tons of Gamera movies.
Oh, did he direct tons of Gamera?
Yeah.
Well, we know my history with Gamera, so I know I haven't.
He's a big kaiju fella.
Yeah.
Okay, just to inform Andrew number 2, my greatest regret in collecting we did an episode on this, is I missed out on that Arrow Gamera set because I heavily underestimated the popularity of it. So it sold out super quick, and I've never been able to get my hands on it. So I almost have like a spite against Gamera, like he's against me. So I haven't seen that.
Like amazing. Okay, like
I
there's
know.
a few pretty great ones,
That
but like
was
it's
the thing.
insane.
That was the thing. Is in my head. I've said this a million times. I know Gamera through Mystery Science Theater 3000, so I've seen whatever the movies they were spoofing. So I didn't compute in my head that set would sell out like in pre-order. You know what I mean? And now go for, like I said, $500 to $700 online, like ridiculous.
Nobody's
prices.
going to buy that. You got to be crazy.
They're just going to sit there. It's like nobody's going to buy them.
Yeah.
But I know I haven't seen them, and my history with kaiju is Godzilla. Obviously, I just made my way through the Showa era Godzilla set with Criterion. I did a whole like viewing and review of that. So that's where my history with kaiju is currently. But this movie here, The Snake Girl and the Silver-Haired Witch, which is a bit of a long title, has a high definition 1080p Blu-ray presentation, original uncompressed mono audio, optional English subtitles, brand new commentary by film historian David Callett, The Charming Woman, a newly filmed interview with manga and folklore scholar Zach Davison, and theatrical trailer, image gallery, reversible sleeve featuring new and original artwork by Mike Lee Graham. First pressing only, illustrated collector's booklet featuring new writing by Raphael Coronelli. And yeah, you talk about a very cool cool cover. This has a really mystical,
Yeah.
almost manga-esque cover, which I'm assuming that's based on a manga. If
Yeah,
they're talking about.
I was gonna say I think I read that that it was based on a manga.
Yeah, if they're having someone who's an expert in manga, I'm assuming it's based on a manga.
Yeah. I think this is early in the director's filmography too. I think he had directed a few Gamera movies, and then this was like really early on in his career.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm always down for some more kind of hidden gems from Japanese cinema, especially ghost stories. Because I mean, especially since I would say this particular genre of film, Quieten was where I kind of got my introduction into like the Japanese ghost story, kind of like tales and stuff, and I really love that film. And so yeah, Andrew, number 2, what do you think about this film?
Man, I'm so down for this kind of stuff. I love Japanese and Hong Kong cinema. Japanese horror is fucked up, so it's really fun just to find new stuff. And with some of the imagery on the reverse art for that, I was like, wow, that's crazy. I'm a big kaiju fan. I'm so excited about the Demigen set coming out.
Oh yeah, I ordered that.
Streaming
I
on
ordered that
Arrow.
myself. Yeah.
Oh man, I love it. I'm so excited. And so this kind of stuff is right up my alley. Like, I'm a huge collector of Category 3. I love Category 3. I mainly watch a lot of Hong Kong stuff. 88 did an amazing job of putting out some great like Shaw Brothers horror films and stuff like that. So this seems like just my kind of film, just to blind buy. I know nothing about it, and that's kind of what's exciting to me. So yeah, I'm gonna get this one day for sure.
Awesome. All right, Andrew, what do you got next?
Do you want to go? I guess we could do.
Let's do our last single release here.
Oh, okay.
Legend.
Oh, you want to do Legend?
Yeah.
All right. Why not?
I do want to do.
So
I do want to do it.
This is kind of a bigger, maybe the more well-known of all of the releases in this slate, I think. I guess maybe that's just me projecting my personal preference, but whatever. So here we go. Legend. People probably should be quite familiar with this movie. It's the Ridley Scott film that came out in the 80s. It stars Tim Curry, Tom Cruise is in it, young Tom Cruise, of course. This set here has multiple cuts of the movie. It has the U.S. theatrical cut and the director's cut. Famously, this movie has 3 cuts. It has, like I said, theatrical, directors, and there's an international cut. And I guess I'll just get into this now because there was a lot of people just talking endlessly about why doesn't this have a UHD release instead of just another Blu-ray release, because this was released I think in like 2011, 2012 on Blu-ray already, which is what I have. And I think one of the producers from Arrow came
James Flower, yeah. He
James
gave
Flower
an
had a whole
in-depth explanation. It's
really,
so fascinating.
I loved it.
It was great.
It was really great. I love the insight. I mean, obviously Andrew number 2 here knows a bit more of the insides of how these things work with licensing and just the materials and all this kind of inside workings of the technical stuff. But for me on the outside, who was endlessly fascinated with it, I don't get an inside look very often. So it was really cool to see. And I tried to like sum it up the best I can for everyone. But essentially, I guess Andrew too could probably back me up on this as well, is just there's licensing issues, there's quality of material issues when it comes to the different cuts of the movies, specifically the director's cut. There isn't an original negative for it, so they had to use an answer print initially to do it, and there's of course a drop-off in quality in that cut alone, and apparently there's different rights owners when it comes to the international cut versus the cut we have here in the U.S. Which I wasn't aware of. Apparently, Universal, I think, owns the original negative of the movie, but I think, Fox, and I guess now Disney, owns the distribution rights of the movie and something in that vein. And they were basically saying that there's a problem in that regard, but also just the materials themselves, like, the UHD wouldn't look the way in which I think they would be happy with it looking, essentially.
Yeah, this is a very class move on Arrow's part. I'll tell you that, especially like from a company who just started dipping our toe into HDR and 4K. there's a lot that goes into it that people aren't really thinking about, as far as like, you want to have the best quality image, you want to have the best quality element, you need to color in HDR, you need to be able to scan it. And just because you have the rights to a film, like to release it, doesn't mean someone goes, okay, cool, here is everything that film has ever had, here's all the original camera negatives. It is a hunt out there, man.
Yeah.
Because like David, you could, if you listen to Master Chaos, he had a great interview with David the other day, and he talked at the very end. He was like, and if anyone knows where we can find a print of The Unhinged, like the notorious video, if anyone has that, let us know, because we own the rights to it, or something like
Yeah.
He's just trying to find like that element, and it's just like, just because someone has the rights to something doesn't mean that they have the ability to get everything. And if somebody as big as Disney has that stuff, but does not, like, they are not contractually obligated to give it to you, like there is stuff, like you still have to swoon some people. One of my favorite things that has come out is from Massacre Video. If you're familiar with them, they put out a movie called Mr. No Legs. Okay. The movie's absolutely everything that you would want it to be, but the only element of that film that exists is, number one, incomplete and in a trailer in Florida. Like, it was not well taken care of, and like it was owned by a woman who didn't even realize she had it on her property. Like, it's like there is a trail, and I guarantee with a film like Legend, like that is such a big title as far as the cast goes, as far as the lore of it goes, that they wanted this to be 4K for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it is 100% the smart move to go, look, we do not feel right charging you. We could make like a 4K out of this, and you would have been like, this stinks.
Yeah.
Like, there is a certain level of quality that needs to be met. Like, until then, it's a placebo quality.
Yeah, reputation matters in the boutique game. I mean, it's
very much so. And
3 cuts of the film, that's expensive to create a 4K film, a 3-disc 4K venture. That's ballsy, man. Like, you'll look at the next one from Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
They're only remastering one of those in 4K.
Yeah.
And from someone, like I was saying, Blood for Dracula, the fact that we're doing it at $45 is risky, because that is barely making any extra money because of all of the stuff that goes into it, all of the extra bits. And it's just like, we want people to see it, but we know, like, you want to be able to feel like you're getting a bargain, but you also want to be able to make a profit and like not screw people over. Yeah. And so being able to put out an amazing 3-cut version on Blu-ray of a fantastic film that should not have any like hard time, like, it's just, there's obviously a very troubled past with that film, so it's like, give it any kind of release. And the fact that we're getting these 3 cuts of that film in HD is awesome. Like, and I also worked on Nightbreed, the director's cut, which had a very similar past, but a very fortunate ending, where we were able to find 35 original camera negative for almost all of it, and even still, we couldn't find every bit. So
and I assume that even if you find the original camera negatives of some of these films, you don't know what condition they're going to be in. Sometimes they're in conditions that wouldn't even be not usable, but they would need work to restore them just to be able to create a good presentation for a Blu-ray release or even for a 4K release. People don't realize when you start upping resolution, the mistakes and the problems within the movie aesthetically are going to be maximized significantly. So they even said in that Twitter feed that, when it came to the director's cut alone, the quality and drop off between, the footage that was added in to make the director's cut and the regular footage would be maximized exponentially because of the higher resolution. So like you said, the quality of the release itself would just plummet. I mean, and then, but what we're getting here, I think, is one, we're getting, more importantly for me as a collector who already owns this movie, is the quality going to be better than that visually? And that will be worth whether I buy it or not. And of course it is. They are doing the work to give us a better presentation, which I think should be the most important factor when it comes
Yeah.
to whether you buy it or not.
People got very mad at us when we did Santa Sangre in SDR on 4K, not realizing that we did end up saying it and explaining it, that it was the director's choice because they didn't have HDR back then. So why push the film further than what I intended? And that's something people did respect, but a lot of people were not stoked that it was in SDR. And we could have done something to where we did like a fake tag to put it on HDR. And like, that's something that we could have done, and it would have soothed a lot of hearts, but it wouldn't have been right. For the filmmaker and stuff like that. And change anything of that is absolutely wrong. So doing this 100%, I'm so happy that James put that stuff out there on the internet, because it really did lift up that curtain and let people see just how hard the stuff is. So respect to James and Arrow for doing all that, really.
Most definitely.
Yeah, really, it was really a great peek behind the curtain of just the complexities of what goes through just one release, and one release of a rather well-known movie, let alone a release of a more complicated movie with a more, difficult ability to release. But let's just dive into this release here. There are going to be a couple of different covers. I think there's one going to be with a brand new cover art, and there's a new one with the original cover art, which is seemingly what Arrow is doing now with some of their releases. I think they're doing it with their Argento releases, where you're getting new artwork and then the original poster artwork or something like that. So that's what we're getting here as well. I kind of like the original artwork versus the new stuff. If you're
going to get that original, you're going to have to buy it at Zavvi, which
Zavvi has been getting better. Or Arrow has just been getting worse. I don't know as far as their service, because I got my Battle Royale set was destroyed upon release, and I ordered direct from Arrow, but my friend got it from Zavvi, and it was in a box, like packed with a kiss. Like it was so sweet.
I can tell you this right now, though. I have a movie, like they did a sale, I think it's been almost over a year now. They did a sale where it was like buy two for, it was an Arrow thing. It was an Arrow sale. I bought two movies. It was a buy one, get one. One of the movies came, the other one hasn't, and it still hasn't come. It's been over a year later. And I even emailed Zavvi about it, and I still haven't gotten it. And,
did they email you back?
Yeah, they emailed me back saying they're still working on getting it sent to them or something. And I'm almost giving up on it, and I'm just going to ask for my money back, because it's like,
damn,
it's been a year. You guys haven't sent me this one movie. So I'm not always like, I've had to buy some things from Zavvi, like the new 4K Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It looks really nice. And did you get it too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, God, I can't miss out on that package. So I got that coming. But if I don't have to buy from them, I don't anymore. I'll wait for it to, like, I go through Diabolic a lot. I'll go through a lot of direct buying, especially like Indicator and Severin. So far, I've been doing a lot of direct buying. But Zavvi's tough, man. But I'll buy this other release. I'll buy the other one from the
thing
other artwork.
that people like about Zavvi is that they don't charge right up front, so that kind of like allows you to second guess. But there is a really fun meme out there right now. Again, I think it was you guys posting it. Can you guess the distributor by the packaging? And it was just a big old picture of peanuts, a pack of peanuts. I'm like, that's Severin, baby. Like,
yeah, Severin, yeah.
To the brim.
You guys do the
peanuts. Yeah. I did it when I did an unboxing for your Christopher Lee set, and it had the peanuts in there. I was like, oh, look at that. You got to push it back. It's like a treasure, like.
Yeah. It's we don't want to fuck anything up, man.
No, hey,
people to enjoy the movies.
I'll tell you this: shipping packaging is a premium right now.
Yeah.
So definitely good on you for doing that. That helps a lot.
People aren't happy with our shipping prices sometimes, but it's mainly dictated by the amount that the post office is charging, as well as the weight and packaging. We want your thing to be delivered as it was sent. Like there's a lot that goes into that. And I mean, we could Amazon it, but then like, don't be.
Oh, please don't.
That's worse. Like
I will pay extra. I will pay extra for it to be coming in a box.
That's why we offer the free shipping tier at certain things, and we try to make it as reasonable to where it's something that you could feel as if you're getting a benefit there. Vinegar Syndrome does it, and Scream Factory I think has like a special branded paper that they'll send it in, which is
Yeah.
nice. I don't very often order from direct from them, only because I don't like their posters very often, and that's
Yeah.
like the big thing for them. And NECA stuff. Not a huge action figure character collector. I have like one pop vinyl, and it's Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. Like, I don't need more than that. But yeah, like everyone has their certain thing that they'll do for shipping.
Yeah.
And Vinegar Syndrome treats everything as if it is Christmas glass.
Yeah,
Like it's glass. Everything gets its
I was gonna say,
own pack, bubble wrap.
I feel the same way about Indicator. Indicators,
They treat you like a king.
yeah, I mean, it's like
they
it'll be
wrap
bubble.
that thing nice.
It's wrapped in bubble wrap, and then on top of that,
like on a
they
cloud.
put them air bubbles around it as it's in the
Yeah.
box. It's like Jesus,
They
because
put
my
in a
hammer's
little love you note every once in a while.
yeah, every once in a while they'll put a like,
freebie piece of
thank you,
paper.
I love you. But I
Yeah,
got
it-
the Hammer 6 in today, and it was like it had, like one of the corners of the box had definitely been pushed in. And I was like, you know what? I bet you this is okay, and it was okay. I was like, that's because it's from Indicator. Somebody
Nice.
threw my box across the warehouse, and it still was okay. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for the price you pay for international shipping,
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth it just for that sweet
Definitely.
packaging.
Yeah.
But diving back into Legend, getting back on the right track.
Get out of your track.
Yeah, I know.
You know, we go off the track. We you know
Oh,
We
yeah.
derailed.
we derail.
Steven-
We rebuild the
Steven has to
tracks.
reel
We
me
go back
in.
on the tracks.
Yeah, I know. We go in and out. We like
Hey, you know what's
waves,
funny about this
basically.
is Andrew getting us back on track is what's funny because I'm the one that has
Yeah.
to keep him on track.
Yeah, I'm way off track all
Yeah,
the time. I go
yeah.
off on tangents about like
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll go back into Legend. There's two. It's a two disc set. U.S. theatrical cut is on the first disc, and we're getting a new 2K restoration of the U.S. theatrical cut from original materials, including a 4K scan of the original negative, new commentary by Paul M. Salmon, author of Ridley Scott, The Making of His Movies. And then we have a 2002 reconstructed isolated score by Tangerine Dream, isolated music and effects track, a Fairy Tale in Pinewood new featurette interviewing Grip David Cadwalder, costume designer Charles Node, co-star Annabelle Lanyon, camera operator Peter McDonald, set decorator Ann Mallow, and draftsman John Ralph. Incarnations of a Legend comparison featurette written and narrated by critic Travis Crawford. The directors, Ridley Scott 2003 documentary where the director discusses his career, including Legend. And then lastly here is a music video, Is Your Love Strong Enough by Brian Ferry. Interesting group of stuff there. And then we have the director's cut, which has a commentary by Ridley Scott, Creating a Myth, Memories of Legend, a 2002 documentary with interviews with Ridley Scott, William Hjortsberg, Mia Sara, Tim Curry, Rob Boughton, and others. Original promotional featurette, alternate Four Goblins opening, and the Fairy Dance deleted scene, storyboard galleries for 3 deleted scenes, 2 drafts of William Hjortsberg's screenplay, alternate footage from the overseas release plus textless footage, trailers and TV spots, and then the all-important stills gallery.
Yes.
And it also comes with illustrated perfect bound book with new writings by Nicholas Clement and Kat Ellinger, and archive materials including production notes and a 2002 interview with Charles de Lazarica about the restoration of the director's cut. A large double-sided poster with newly commissioned artwork by Neil Davies and original theatrical artwork by John Alvin, glossy full-color portraits of the cast photographed by Annie Leibovitz, 6 double-sided postcard-sized lobby card reproductions, reversible sleeve featuring newly commissioned artwork by Nell Davies and original theatrical artwork by John Alvin, then optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing on both cuts. And yes, so like we just talked about when it came to the difference in the cuts and the quality of the cuts, both of these films have had a lot of restoration work done over the years, both the cuts of this movie. I think the reason why you're getting a lot of that 2002 stuff is because I think the original restoration of the movie was done in 2002, so they probably just made all of this extras work back then. Yeah, so it's Legend. If you don't own this movie already, you probably want to pick this up. Even if you do own it, this is probably definitely worth worth it just for the better picture quality. And Arrow does. The box set itself is probably going to be pretty awesome if you're familiar with Arrow's limited edition box sets. So where do we want to move to now, Stephen? Children of the Corn?
Yes, let's do it. I love a little bit of corn. I mean, I don't really love these movies, but go ahead.
So Children of the Corn, of course, is the Stephen King adaptation. We did a whole episode on Stephen King adaptations back when we did Cinema Discovery Project, and I think we talked a little bit about Children of the Corn, and this has, there's no, Stephen, you're gonna have to back me up on this. There's two versions of this release,
There's
right?
well, there's a 4K. They are doing like a straight up 4K release of the first
Yeah.
Children of the Corn film.
Of just the first movie.
Yeah, and
then a
it's-
Blu-ray set of 1, 2, and 3. Is that
Yes, and the single release is going to be a U.S. and Canada release, and then the trilogy box set is going to just be a Region B release. So
okay? I only wanted to ask you that because on Blu-ray.com they only have the specs for the 4K release and not for the box set.
okay,
So
you're going to have to mosey on over to Arrow
Yeah.
Films, which is where I'm at.
Is that where you are?
Yeah.
You think we would coordinate this better? We never do. We just go off road.
but it's
So
it's
the trilogy box set comes with the Children of the Corn original in 4K HDR, and then the other two are Blu-rays.
yeah the other
So
Children.
it's
okay.
just they're only doing Children of the Corn one. That's kind of what I was talking about. It's expensive
Yeah.
to make these films in 4K, and if you're going to do one, it's got to be the one that you have the rights to make a single release elsewhere,
Yeah.
and make a worldwide release, because it will be a region. I mean, Blu-ray won't be necessarily, but 4K is region free.
Region free.
So yeah, you're gonna. That's why they did that, I think. And I mean, it's smart because no offense to Dark Harvest or what is it, Urban Harvest?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't. This is one of those sets that I was gonna skip myself, but I'm fine with my Blu-rays. But
Yeah.
anyone who wants Children of the Corn in 4K, baby,
Sure,
it's
yeah.
your Christmas.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're a Stephen King aficionado and you like those adaptations, so I'm just going to do all the special features for the box set since obviously
Yeah.
the 4K is in it. So the first disc is going to be the 4K UHD release of Children of the Corn, a brand new 4K restoration from original camera negative by Arrow Films, audio commentary with journalist Justin Beam and Children of the Corn historian John Sullivan, and John Sullivan, and then audio commentary with director Fritz Kirsch, producer Terrence Kirby, and actors John Franklin and Courtney Gaines. Harvesting Horror, the making of the Children of the Corn retrospective piece featuring interviews with director Fritz Kirsch and actors John Franklin and Courtney Gaines. It was the 80s! Exclamation point. An interview with actress Linda Hamilton. Return to Gatlin, brand new featurette revisiting the film's original Iowa shooting locations. Stephen King on a shoestring, an interview with producer Donald Borchers. Welcome to Gatlin, the sights and sounds of Children of the Corn, an interview with production designer Craig Stearns and composer Jonathan Elias, or Elias. Cut from the Cornfield, an interview with the actor who played the Blue Man in the fabled Excised sequence, theatrical trailer, and then Disciples of the Crow, a 1983 short film adaptation of Stephen King's short story. So that's all disc 1, and then disc 2 has Children of the Corn 2, The Final Sacrifice.
It's not the final
Which
sacrifice.
I guess won't be the final sacrifice because
bullshit.
they make a third one.
Why do they do that?
It's like how bands do it's like bands doing a farewell tour and then coming back 2 years later to do another farewell tour.
That money was
Gotta
just
sell
so
tickets,
sweet.
baby.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Kiss has been going on a farewell tour for like 30 years.
Yeah.
So we get two versions of the film, the international cut and the U.S. theatrical cut, with additional CGI and alternate audio mix via seamless branching.
Probably another reason why there's no 4K, because there's multiple cuts of this movie.
Yeah. Also, I haven't heard the word seamless branching in a long time. Brand new audio commentary by critics Maddie Budwix and Dave Wayne.
Sure.
And a brand new commentary by critic Lee Gambin in conversation with director David Price. A new harvest, a brand new interview with director David Price. Sowing the Seeds of Terror, a brand new interview with co-screenwriter A.L. Katz. Framing Fear, a brand new interview with cinematographer Levi Isaacs. And then work print version of the film, stills gallery, and then theatrical trailer. So some new stuff when it comes to that movie. And then the last one is Children of the Corn 3 Urban Harvest, which we get 2 versions of the film, the R-rated U.S. cut and the unrated international cut with extended ending via seamless branching. Brand new audio commentary by critic Maddie... Oh, boy, they're going to ruin this me again. Maddie Budwicks and
Sure.
Dave Wayne. Corn in the City. Oh, that's a phrase. A brand new interview with screenwriter Dode Levson. Corn in the USA. Oh, even better.
Born in the USA.
It has to be a Weird Al cover. A brand new visual essay by author and critic Guy Adams. Early treatments, versions of the story from the development process, and then stills gallery, and then theatrical trailer. And then extras are apparently subject to change. So
Well, that happens.
things are always in
Probably
the work.
means more. They were probably in development with a few more. They wanted to get it out.
Yeah.
Probably.
But I think I don't know about Andrew 1, but it's me and Andrew 2, I think, are on the same page. We don't really need to get this necessarily, but it's a cool release for people that like that franchise. Yeah.
It's definitely better when it
Than nothing?
when it comes to the sequels.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
better
mean,
than nothing, yeah.
It's a better release for the sequels than I think I've been on Blu-ray before, because I remember back in the early 2010s when was it Echo Bridge or somebody was putting out like multi-movie Blu-ray sets on like for like dirt cheap, and they would be like hey, buy like 3 movies for like $10, but they'd be on like one disc and it'd probably be compressed to hell. And I always remember seeing Children of the Corn sequels as part of these sets. I don't know why. It just brings back those memories. But yeah, so is that it for the Arrow releases?
We got one more.
We got one more.
We got one
Okay.
more.
Oh boy,
And
we have one more.
We got the Cold War creatures.
Oh, we saved the coolest for last, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is the day one buy. I'm buying this immediately.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
Cold
right up
War
my alley.
creatures. Yeah, talk about a cover. My goodness, this looks like something out of a nightmare. A good nightmare, I guess. So these are Cold Creatures, 4 films from Sam Katzman. And I don't know. I'm going into this completely blind. So I know, Steven, you said you saw a couple of these before the show.
Yeah. I've seen 3 of these movies.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I got a chance to watch The Werewolf, Creature with the Atom Brain, and The Giant Claw, and they're all really fun. I would say I really liked probably The Giant Claw the most, just because you get a bird that flies around that makes the same. It's a creature feature. You got this. Pilot that sees a UFO, and then they comes to find out it's like an alien bird from another planet that's made from like antimatter, so you can't destroy it in the like normal way, so they got to use 1950 science to beat it.
Is this like an atomic age science?
Well, yeah, all these
box?
movies are like obviously allegories for like the Cold War, worrying about
Oh,
somebody
my
else
goodness.
having a weapon that
This is
the
my
US
jam.
doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, so these are, like I was saying, these are atomic age sci-fi films, which I really love. Like, Think from Another World, The Day the Earth Stood Still, just those types of movies. So I'm definitely in on this now that I'm aware of that. But going into this set here, so each film has all gotten a high definition presentation. Original uncompressed mono has been applied to all, for all of these films. There's optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, and this set comes with a fully illustrated 60-page collector's book featuring extensive new writing by Laura Drazen Boys, Neil Mitchell, Barry Forshaw, John Tolson, and Jackson Cooper. Yeah, did I say 60 pages? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. 60.
Okay,
page.
because the next one is an 80-page collector's art book featuring reproduction stills and artwork from each film and new writing by historian and critic Stephen R. Bissett. So that's 2 books. I thought I was seeing double here because my eyes are not great. I have to zoom in on everything and lean in very close to the camera and microphone. 2 double-sided posters featuring newly commissioned artwork by Matt Griffin, and then reversible sleeves featuring original and newly commissioned artwork for each film by Matt Griffin. The aesthetics already in and of itself have me sold. So let's get into the features themselves. So disc 1 is Creature with the Atom Brain. A brand new introduction by historian and critic Kim Newman. Brand new audio commentary by critic Russell Dyball. Sam Katzman, Before and Beyond the Cold War Creatures. A brand new feature-length illustrated presentation on the life, career, and films of Sam Katzman by historian and critic Stephen R. Bissett. A condensed Super 8mm version of A Creature with the Atom Brain produced for home cinema viewing. Theatrical trailer and image gallery. That's pretty good stuff.
It's a fun movie too. It's basically a gangster hires like a ex-Nazi scientist to basically create zombies out of his like thugs that have all died, and I guess take revenge on people. It's really fun. It's really ridiculous, but it's a fun feature. So yeah, it's definitely
I'm
worth
sold.
It. Yeah.
So the second film on disc 2 is The Werewolf. Brand new introduction by critic Kim Newman. Brand new audio commentary by critic Lee Gambin. Beyond Window Dressing, a brand new visual essay exploring the oft-overlooked role of women in the films of Sam Katzman by historian and critic Alexandra Heller-Nicholas. Condensed Super 8mm version of The Werewolf produced for home cinema viewing. And theatrical trailer and image gallery. Cool.
Yeah. This one, if you want a description of this movie, think about the movie First Blood from Rambo. It's kind of like that, but with a werewolf. Basically, this guy comes into town, he stumbles into town, and then he like ends up killing somebody. He's a werewolf, he kills somebody, and then basically the cops are looking for him in the woods nearby, and that's kind of the movie. Of course, there's other elements that are not like First Blood, but it's kind of got that setup. So it's a solid werewolf movie. I like it. I mean. But yeah.
Cool. So, the next one on disc 3 is The Zombies of Moratau. Brand new introduction by critic Kim Newman. Brand new audio commentary by critic Kat Ellinger. Atomic Terror, Genre and Transformation. A brand new visual essay exploring the intersection of mythical horror creatures and the rational world of science in the films of Sam Katzman by critic Josh Hurtado. And
hey, wait a second. No,
it's a different name. It's a homonym, I think. Theatrical trailer and then image gallery.
And I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen it? Okay. Then number 4 is The Giant Claw, which is a cool name. I just think movie. Of those... Yeah. I think of those, like, those arcade games with the giant claws where you got to pick up, like, the stuffed animals and stuff.
That's exactly what it is.
Good.
The whole time is just a damn...
That was my guess the whole time.
Yeah.
So we
get
a brand new
at the very end. We find out we're in a giant claw machine.
Oh,
yeah, we're in Toy Story. You know,
that's the Shyamalan twist for the third act.
Yeah.
So brand new introduction by critic Kim Newman. Brand new audio commentary by critics Emma Westwood and Cerise Howard. Family Endangered. A brand new visual essay examining the theme of Cold War paranoia and Sam Katzman monster movies by critic Mike White. Condensed Super 8mm version of The Giant Claw produced for home cinema viewing, theatrical trailer, and image gallery. And that's this set. And out of all of these releases, this one has been probably the most intrigued just because I don't know anything about it. But like you said, atomic age sci-fi, horror, Cold War paranoia, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
If you've ever seen, we did a release called Horror of Party Beach, which is atomic age, surf rock. But that level of monster and science knowledge, I'm going to use knowledge in giant air quotes, of how things work is so great in how these movies break them down. And it's just such a time capsule that if you're into this kind of stuff, you are. And with Kim Newman, Barry Forshaw and Kat Ellinger on the discs, like you're going to be filled with knowledge and context, and they're great people to have do intros. You're not going to get like the typical, all right, well, we made this movie, hope you enjoy it. You're going to get a knowledge, like something to look for. You're going to be, I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Kim Newman and Kat Ellinger, their names keep showing up on all kinds of releases that we've been going through over the last several months.
Yeah, you're gonna see them
and-
on our Christopher Lee disc. They both did Kim Newman and Troy Howarth, and they're so knowledgeable and so fun to listen to. Kat Ellinger is just like, I still get like I see her name pop up all the time. Her Day of the Locusts commentary, which if you haven't picked up that disc from Imprint, it's great release. It's the only time that movie I think will get a Blu-ray release. It's a 2.5, almost 3 hour movie, and she does not stop talking the entire time, and it is no repeating. She is just knows that much, and it's so fascinating. It's great.
Awesome. Yeah, I can tell you're a friend. You're loving Imprint too, because I love Imprint as well. We both do, but it's just their shipping costs are pretty rough unless we get it from somewhere else. It's sometimes tough. To get them.
I love and hate them, and I can get into that if you really need me to. But I love that they're doing certain things. But
we won't get into that. Yeah,
I'll say that. Yeah, out of all the boutique labels, they seem to be the only one regularly that has some type of deal with Paramount.
Yeah, I can't get into that, but it's all hearsay, and I don't want to speak out of my ass.
I don't need to know any.
We don't want to get
details.
you in trouble. We don't want to get you in trouble.
No,
I'll just say
please.
that typically I don't see that happening. Like Paramount, I said this on the, I've said this on the podcast several times. They woke up out of whatever, catalog release title coma that they were in for years, and now are just pumping out everything. And
yeah, man,
it's just
starting with a Golden Child, baby.
Yeah.
What we were
All
waiting.
films, you're like, we should go all in on Golden Child.
Didn't they? Yeah, when I meant everything, they're just like, there's no rhyme or reason. They're just going bananas. For me personally, I wanted Roman Holiday on Blu-ray for like a decade now, and it finally came out. So I'm like, hey, Paramount, you showed up for me when I thought you were dead and buried. So
Yeah.
I'm happy. I got my Roman Holiday on Blu-ray finally. But yes, that's that. Now this will wrap up all of the Arrow releases. And Steven, do you want to transition into, I guess, the main show?
I guess the reason Andrew number 2's here. I guess
Yes.
we can talk about Severin stuff.
It's
Yes.
time to go, guys.
Yeah. Oh,
I know. So,
Well,
could you
sorry
imagine?
guys. Thanks for that. All right.
What a
So
tease.
yeah. So now we're gonna get to the goodies here. The main reason our guest is here. We have the mid-year sale going on at Severin, which is very exciting. And I know a lot of people right at this moment are looking around on the site trying to figure out what they're going to buy. And so during the sale, there has been exclusive releases. And we're going to have our guest here talk about them and try to persuade you to buy some of this stuff. So where do you want to start, Andrew, number 2?
Man, I'm going to get the hard thing out of the way for me. Jess Franco films. If you are interested in his stuff, I am not. I'm proud of you.
I knew you were going to do this because I listened to you guys on your podcast. If we didn't mention, he does. Andrew here does a podcast for Severin also, and him and David
Gregory and Zachary Carter. We do it together, and we kind of just go over the discs, similar to what you do, but just specifically for Severin. And we sometimes have guests. Sometimes we really kind of go in depth and share those personal stories that we were telling you about, behind the scenes stuff. And Jess Franco, I'm very open about. I do not get the draw, but one thing I will say is Shining Sex is fun. It's the most fun outside of Bloody Moon that I've had with Jess Franco. These films, they're basically him just going, how can I push the bar 10 times more than I'm comfortable?
Yeah.
What's weirder than Lena Romay masturbating? I don't know. Let's have her let her vagina smoke a cigarette. Let's what can we do here to make everyone mad? And he did that. And man, it was tough. But that being said, there is some more Jess Franco down the line. And I will say this, I was shocked. I liked it. So
wow.
I will go into a Jess Franco. I'm not a Jess Franco convert. It's not like it suddenly clicked with me. I think it was a one-off, but I mean, if you're into Jess Franco, this is it. And if you're looking to get into Jess Franco, on our bonus features, we have Stephen Thrower, who is genuinely the Jess Franco guy. Every time I go, I didn't like a movie, I watch his bonus feature and go, maybe I was wrong, because he fills it with so much context. And there's a great 6-part series that Zach Carter edited, and it's the conclusion on these 2 discs of going location scouting at just iconic locations from Jess Franco films, and just seeing how the natural beauty genuinely stood out. And while you're there, you are being greeted with so much incredible information of what was going on, when the film came out, why he decided to make that movie. He's one of those filmmakers he always had 5 movies being made at once, and whatever he decided to finish first is what got out. And then maybe he'd come back, maybe he'd finish. And just hearing Stephen Thrower give this incredible knowledge is always worth a purchase. But if you're not into them or don't know Jess Franco, Uncle Jess is an acquired taste. I'm very interested to see if you guys what your thoughts are on Uncle Jess. But I've made my case clear.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
just for people at home, he's referring to the movies Black Boots, Leather Whip, and The House of Lost Women.
Yes.
Those are I believe I'm right.
Yeah,
those
the 2
are
titles.
You're 100%.
Yeah, just so people know contextually what your 2 films you're talking about and the type of director you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
How are
I'm
you?
not-
are you
I'm-
a
the
Franco
only-
fan?
Well, I haven't. The only things I've seen of his, and I was surprised when I found out that he had done these movies, was that I'd gotten the Fu Manchu set from Indicator, and he has done 2 Fu Manchu movies. He did the Blood of Fu Manchu, and he did the Castle of Fu Manchu. So yeah. I was like, what? I was like, I guess this is I can say I've seen some Jess Franco.
Yeah, buckle the fuck up if you're gonna watch these ones. It's a little different than Christopher Lee blowing things up. Him and Christopher Lee had a very good relationship for a long time, and Fu Manchu is part of their collaborations together. I mean, no offense when I say this, Andrew. Number one, you look like a Jess Franco fan. I'm just kidding.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Are you a fan?
I'll tell you this though. I'm not. I'm just going through his stuff. I don't think I've seen any of his work, but I've heard of his work.
Yeah, his
example,
films
I just
live in a lot of lore for sure.
Yeah, when I was doing just just looking at different Severin titles, and because I'm slowly growing out my Christopher Lee collection, if you will, and I saw that he had done a movie called Count Dracula with Christopher Lee. I was like, I got to get that eventually for my Christopher Lee set collection. And so I was just looking at that, and then of course when I was reading the special features, I saw that there's like like you said, a multi-part like documentary series. So I was like, okay, here's part 5 and part 6. Where's part 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, when I see stuff like that, it's like, okay, I got to start from the beginning then. So
Jess
I got to go
Franco
back.
has been a big festival darling, a sale darling, where we try to put out a few each sale because they are very special to David, my boss, and he loves Jess as a person, as a filmmaker, and he wants them to be special. And Shining Sex, Bahia Blanca are part 4 and 3, and then I'm trying to remember which ones had 1 and 2, but there's some genuinely incredible concepts. He was a big fan of going, sex sells, let's sex it up. Cries of Pleasure and Night of Open Sex. Those are part 1 and 2. And man, if you want to watch people fuck in front of gold bars, get in there. He really did find a very strong collaborator in Lena Romay, and she was 100% willing to do whatever he wanted to do, however he wanted to do it. And that's something that I can get behind, is a true auteur. I think if we were to do, it's impossible because he made like 400 movies. And some of them are just half completed, gone, lost in the world. He would be a filmmaker that you would see a director like complete box set, like Andy Milligan or Al Adamson. Like that's someone, and the series of In the Land of Francos is a feature film in of itself, and it's absolutely amazing. Like, it's 2 hours, I think, all in all together, and it is so worth it alone. So if you are at all interested in just having a view of someone who has a great eye for what is cinema, but don't care necessarily about the story and are fine having a boner for like 90 minutes straight, then that's the kind of movie for you. I'm definitely more excited about other ones, but I think like I can't. There have been people who have come up to us at conventions and said, thank you for putting out all this stuff. So I know I'm in the minority, especially in our list, but I just basically wanted to get that out of the way to let you know I am very open to a fault. I think David's been mad at me at times where I'm just like, maybe you should be so harsh on the titles, but at the same time, I think that honesty is important, because what's not for me might be very much for you, but at least, my opinion, it's there.
Yeah, right. I mean, just because I know not going in completely blind, I'm a big fan of John Waters. So these films feel like very much in that vein of pushing the envelope to absurdity extremes when it comes to just everything, like there's no boundary
100%.
there.
House of Lost Women. Don't even look into it. Don't read about it. Trust me. If that's what you're into, baby, I don't know why I keep calling you baby. You just got to say
right. I like it.
I'm telling you, that one takes the boundaries by the horns, grabs it, shoves it into its crotch, and says, "Eat up!" Like, it is nuts. It really is.
The weirder, the crazier, the wilder, the better. In my opinion, when it comes to film, like for me, cinema has no boundaries. That's a great way. That's what I love about it. Just it has no boundaries. Just do whatever. Whatever is it has no. There's no ends to what you can express, show artistically, or maybe non-artistically in many cases. But still, just go for it. Be ambitious. Be bold.
It's okay. It's okay to make failures too. I mean, it's not.
Oh yeah.
He didn't care. He was making movies he wanted to see, and that's something to respect. But if that's what you're into, Andrew, I'm telling you right now, go get Shining Sex and get House of Lost Women, because Shining Sex is aliens come down and have sex with Lena Romay, and for some reason create so her vagina is now a poison and kills people, and she's turning into a crystal all through, like, vagina outwards. That one's sci-fi. It's fun. It's wild. House of Lost Women, it really, like, to the point of discomfort for me, because it really pushes some taboos I'm not cool with. Like my personal limit. I got to watch it 5 times while I worked on the release. That's the hard part. But so usually you find something to appreciate, and I genuinely do appreciate his willingness to just go, this is what I want, fuck you. And like, that's something I genuinely respect.
Definitely.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, let's get. We talked about that longer than I thought we would.
Yeah, we did. So let's move on, I guess, to like something a little less maybe risque, because just stuff that I'm personally kind of interested in, just doing my tangential research for the show. There seems to be this kind of dystopian '80s vibe to a couple of these movies. And I was just like, they just like. For me, like Warriors of the Year 2072, which apparently has a bunch of different titles as well.
Oh, yeah.
And
Raiders of Atlantis.
Raiders of Atlantis and Endgame all seem to be under this genre umbrella of like 80s, like, cheese. Dystopian, weird, like sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, these were all first-time watches for me, but not first-time films for all of these directors. The post Nukes, that's why we called it the Nukes the mid-year, because so a while ago it actually accidentally got leaked that we had the rights in the US for these movies, and ever since then people were clamoring, and we were still working on the releases, trying to make them top notch and figure out what we could do, working with our friends in Italy to get these extras, interviews with a bunch of people. And we kind of got to the point where we're like, you know what? Everyone really wants these. Let's give it to them, but let's make it the sale, because everyone knows they're coming, and I think they won't expect us to have them come out during the sale. So let's hint it. So like that's why we decided to do the mid-year sale, Nukes to mid-year sale, and really kind of kept that theme going. There are a few titles in there that are very different, but they are all very, like, Raiders of Atlantis by Ruggero Deodato is amazing. It is so much fun. It is. Do you guys know anything about it?
No.
So Atlantis, there's a key that gets found in the middle while they're doing like a hunt underwater. They find out, and all of a sudden, an underground city comes out of nowhere, puts the city in a dome, and just marauders start taking over. And it is Mad Max style marauders. Like, yep, they've been underground and they've been working on their Mohawk game. Like, it's crazy. They've got motorcycles, and everything on the poster you see there is in the movie, and it is wild. Christopher is amazing, and Tony King, their absolute magnetism on screen together works throughout the entire film. And every time you think the film is going to find a way to be boring, as some of these Italian ripoffs do, this film steps it up every inch of the way. I was completely stoked when I saw this, and we got a great element for that one. I believe it was an interpositive, or if not an original camera negative. I can't fully remember. It came from Studio Canal.
It's 4K of the interpositive.
Interpositive, yes. Yeah. Studio Canal had a great element. We couldn't find anything better than that. We got it finished from them, and touched up the color a little bit here and there just to fix it. But it's wild. And we got a commentary with Tony King, it's basically like watching the movie with him at your house, because he doesn't remember most of the movie, but he's like, oh man, I remember this like it was yesterday. Oh, cool. Let's talk about it. Well, I mean, it's a little foggy. But he is experiencing the movie going, holy shit, this is pretty cool. Like, he's really with you on it. And I really love that that post-nuke mindset. And then going into Warriors of 2072, you get the same thing, except you're getting it from Lucio motherfucking Fulci.
Oh yes.
Like,
yeah, I saw that and I was surprised. I was like, whoa, what?
It is hard to find, which is crazy, because you look at the cast, you look at just the concept of it, and it is gangbusters cool. There's so much great stuff in it, and great miniature work of the future that rivals something of like Blade Runner, like that level of world, but done with miniatures, and it's so fun and wild, and it's not normal for him, Lucio. I think that's why it kind of gets discarded a lot of the time, because it's not so much a horror gore flick, but it's got those elements in there, man. It's got some crazy shit, and I love that. Yeah, have you guys ever seen that one?
No, I haven't seen that. I didn't. Andrew, you said you almost watched it.
It was available on Amazon Prime streaming to watch, but when I say it was in VHS quality, it was in VHS quality.
Yeah,
and
I'm like, you don't need to see
I'm gonna
Fred
wait
Williamson
for the Severin
like
release.
Yeah, you don't need to see Fred Williamson kicking ass next to, who is it? It's the guy who, Jared Martin. He's in a bunch of great Italian stuff, and him and Fred and Howard Ross is in it, and it's just like they're. I can't really get too deep into it, but it's basically like Rollerball mixed with Prison, mixed with badass biker stunts.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did watch a little bit of the beginning of this movie. I didn't have a chance to watch it, but yeah, I remember seeing the opening, and it was like guys running around on motorbikes and just getting ready for like some kind of contest, or
it's like Knight Riders meets Rollerball and Death Race.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steven, didn't you say that it felt like Running Man a little bit?
Well,
of
no,
Running Man
that's
in there?
that's Endgame.
Endgame.
Oh, that was
and it's
Endgame.
easy to get them
Wow.
confused because they have very
Yeah.
similar styles. But
Yeah. Yeah, Endgame I did watch, and I thought that was pretty fun too. And it does have that very much that Running Man, where you got like a TV show where they're like sending killers in to kill each other to, like I actually kind of I can't wait to, because I'm gonna get this eventually because I did like this movie, but I have to probably wait till later to buy it. But I can't wait to watch it in better quality because a lot of that, the effects and things like that are just really just grainy, and I couldn't really tell what was going on. But talk more about Endgame.
man, Endgame, Joe D'Amato, or as some people might know him, Joe fucking D'Amato, Black Emmanuel. He's a perv and he knows how to swerve. I don't know what I'm saying there, but no, Joe D'Amato. He's a big Severin staple, and to get a movie with him and Laura Gemser back at it. And just George Eastman in it, but he also wrote the film, and in his bonus feature, he goes into, I say this in very heavy air quotes, the influences that were for making this movie, and it's wild. It was I think my favorite was Raiders. And I think out of the three, Endgame is my least favorite, but that's not saying much because it really is pretty wild, and it has one of those freeze frame endings that makes me so excited.
The one thing I recognized about Endgame too was that they were, because there's, how it's funny to always watch movies that are supposed to be about the future and how they bring up like technology or bring up things that they think are going to be popular. One thing I thought was funny was energy drinks, because like every time something
Life
would happen,
Plus.
Life Plus, they were like, and I was like, man, they're right. Energy drinks are going to be really popular in the future. And of course energy drinks were kind of around back then, but like not like they are now, where they're like everybody's drinking them every day. So yeah, I thought that was funny when they were just like doing these random ads after somebody just killed somebody. They're like, here's an interview with this guy. And then he's like, Life Plus,
It feels like Verhoeven and RoboCop and Starship Troopers, but it's before then. It's a pretty great concept, and they did it really well, but they also found a way to add in mutants and telekinesis and Laura Gemser wearing clothes, which is rare. It's crazy. So that in itself is a novelty you can't miss out on. But it still has those flares of D'Amato being D'Amato. You can take the bull out of the pig pen. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm not Dr. Phil. I'm not going to do analogies. But like, he really is just an auteur, so it's hard for him to not be himself. And Endgame is wild. It's got action, it's got violence, it's got rape, it's got everything that you want from like a Severin release. That sounded way worse said than it did in my head.
I think I know what you mean. I think, but all right. Well, I think that a great transition from what you just said goes into the masturbating gunman. Sounds like it's right in that area.
Man, masturbating gunman is gonna blow some people away. It really is something special. It's a 20-year-old movie made by this guy named Mark Savage, shot on video in Australia. We did an interview with him, and since meeting him while working on this restoration, that's right, restoration, for a shot on video film, he's been nothing but amazing. He's so into Japanese cinema. Him and I just talk about stuff. He told me a lot of this is inspired by the Rape Man manga. Speaking of rape, but that's
I knew it was a good transition.
It's a very shocking title, but a very similar style of like people who work in an agency where they go do something, and that's kind of the Rape Man story. It's a lot pervier than that, but this is too. It's got a panty den where he goes and studies because his whole thing is he's a hitman who goes out to find women and uses panties to use panties and sniffs them and tries to figure out where they are, and it's like a tracker dog. Yeah, Andrew, I can't tell if you're into this or not, but
I'll tell you that you talk about pushing the limits. I mean, the title itself,
but it's done with such a fun, it's a comedy, and it's done with such a fun energy throughout that it's so hard. It knows what it's doing, and it knows that it's saying things to get you going only to make fun of it. Yeah. And it's something that I could see 20 years ago not getting made. I mean, he in his interview was like, that's the one movie he took his parents to for the premiere, and his dad was like, well, you've got to figure something else out, dude. This sucked. Like, and it's like the humor wasn't necessarily there, the audience, like, for that kind of humor. And now I feel like we're there, and it's so ridiculous. And I know, and I'm saying, like, I sound like an asshole because I'm like, Jess Franco. It's because he's very serious, but this is done in such a light tone that it's like, I don't know. It's more up my alley. There's a lot of sex and nudity and masturbation, believe it or not. But the commentary for this one was one where I genuinely felt like I love the movie more after finishing the commentary, just because the director gives so much insight and so much energy and has so much fun stuff to talk about that you just love it more because you're going to remember those stories. And I like, he has a whole bit about his brother and this limp and this character, and there's a goat in there, and him and his brother had like a bonding moment where they both limp together, and there was a like love scene, and there's like all this stuff. It's weird, and like he talks about stuff that was taken out of the film or done because it was in poor taste. And I'm like, well, cool. A dude just got mashed potatoes to the eyeball, and that. But you're right, that was in poor taste. Sure, like that's what it's wild. Long story short, it's just a fun group movie. I think, like, if you were a fan of Frankie and His Pals, or you love the group vibe of Things, like watching that kind of movie, I know that's a very odd pull considering how weird Things is, but I think just in a like purely director's vision, that's kind of where I was going with that Things reference. It's purely this guy's brain going, this is what I thought would be fun, and here it is. You get it or you don't. And he was still confused 20 years later when we hit him up and we're like, hey, can we do this? And he was like, sure. All right. He goes into Japanese markets and why Japanese cuts exist and why they're always so long. And it's really fun. It's a really fun disc, even though it's just a film commentary and a behind the scenes featurette.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm you sold me on that one. I think I'm definitely going to check that one out.
I'm telling you, man, you're not gonna be disappointed.
Awesome. We got a couple more. Let's talk about Retribution.
Retribution. Okay, so this is similar to what I was talking about earlier with The Hunt and why it's sometimes hard. So Retribution is notoriously known for having an uncut version, but it's never been seen in anything other than VHS. And this is something we actually talked to Guy on our podcast, and he talks extensively about it in the commentary for the film. He did a commentary for the uncut version, which is the special in the special edition here. We did 2 cuts of the film, Retribution, the theatrical, and then the uncut in its entirety. And there was a disc that came out from Code Red a long time ago of the theatrical, and they had the bonus feature on there with the uncut footage. And so, the film has been out, but never quite like this. We had a great element for this, and we were able to restore it, color it, work with Guy to create this incredible disc. We got some great bonus features. The film is basically a guy tries to kill himself the same time another person was being brutally murdered. And by coincidence, by circumstance, their bodies merge. And the guy who was murdered is going around committing like revenge murders to the people who killed him using this other gentle soul's body. So
I love the concept.
It's wild. It's very 80s.
Yeah.
And it's aesthetically that gritty LA that's like not porno 70s LA, but like not 90s clean. It's that gritty punk center.
Yeah.
So it's a great place for this film to take place. Well, that's a terrible sentence, Andrew. Great place for this place to take place. But
it gave me,
no,
aesthetically, it was making me think about Scanners. Like maybe a little bit of Scanners in there when it comes to like some of its visual effects and things like that. Maybe.
And something we found out while doing this is some of the incredible effects for this film were practical. Like there's a portal to hell that is absolutely mind-blowing. And then he's like, yeah, we just did a little bit of water and a beam. And it's like, how the fuck does it look that cool? And like when he's a demon, when he's the ghost, his eyes are glowing green. We found out that was a simple in-camera trick. And it's just like things like that. I was completely blown away. We got bonus features with the special effects team, with the writer, with the musician. We have the soundtrack for that one. And a bunch of other these have soundtracks too. I just didn't mention, but it's fascinating. And the whole thing that was so interesting was Guy explained why it's been so hard to get this version in HD. For the uncut version, which is, even though it's a few seconds, those seconds never made it past a VHS reference copy. And the best element for that is off of a Dutch VHS tape. And this is after, I think, 2 years of us just going around like, oh, we heard Indonesia has a print of this. Let's go find out. And like, we have friends in Indonesia now we have sources to find this stuff. And we literally scoured the globe, trying to find original camera negatives, trying to find raw elements from when they originally filmed. Like we really went out there and came up with nothing. And then we found out, oh, I guess we didn't need to do that much crazy digging because it never existed. All right.
Great.
But nice. It's very hard. And finding that out was actually really cool. And the cool thing that we have now that we didn't have when Code Red released it or when Germany released it was technology of restoration and taking VHS footage and making it look better and having the ability to color correct and adjust the footage so it's not like noticeable. And the shots are so quick that it really does. It is like harder to tell. And when Guy was watching it through the commentary, he was like, oh shit, you guys got everything. And that moment felt so cool just to hear that. Like he did the commentary with David Gregory and he was like, wow, David, you guys did it. Like, this is crazy. And just
that had to make David feel good. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. You can hear the smile in the commentary. It's that's the kind of stuff that David really lives for, is pleasing these filmmakers, like working with Alex de la Iglesia on his films and the reward of him going, this is awesome. And then him putting out something incredible, like 30 coins the same year, like knowing that, like, he's a working filmmaker who still appreciates and dedicates himself to the things that he did 20 years ago. Like, that's the kind of stuff I think that we as a company and David as a person really appreciate. I've got a very great look behind the scenes of just not only what it means to fans to get these films out, but sometimes for filmmakers, like getting their films out there. I know Al Adamson is dead, and Andy Milligan also dead, but the fact that these sets exist and these people are getting the perfect presentations that they deserve, like sometimes better than how they looked in the theater, like Andy Milligan. I know that there was a saying that was said when we were working on that: do not let any issue on the releases be something we did. Everything needs to be, because that's half the charm of Andy Milligan, is he was a messy filmmaker, and that's kind of the joy. And giving these pristine releases is hard. But Retribution was definitely one that felt like it was very much worth it. And the juice was worth the squeeze, just for Guy to finally go, you know what? I'm cool with this. I'm very happy with this release.
Awesome. Well,
so long story short, pick up that disc, ding dong.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up that one definitely. Andrew, you got anything to add?
No, I mean, he definitely sold me on the disc. I love the concept in of itself. Also, out of all of these well, not all of them, but this seems to be one of the more heavier when it comes to special features and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely worth the extra cost for people willing to buy at home, because as you know, Andrew number 2 just gave us, there's a whole background story into each and every single one of these releases. I don't think we can emphasize that enough. And I think this kind of all feeds back into why we're highlighting, you know, boutique labels, is because of the unique amount of effort and time and work that goes into each of these. It really should be more highlighted and more appreciated by people who are, you know, buying these and collecting these. That's why certain people like to complain online about certain things, about, you know, something not looking quite as nice as they wanted it to, or something, or whatever little nitpick they have. And I'm like, man, some of these, we're lucky we're getting a lot of these movies in the quality we're getting them. You know what I mean? So
I
really
do focus on that kind of stuff. I think I'm the only one in the office who actually does go on the forums and look, and I do keep in mind like things like that, and I look at those critiques, and sometimes it really hurts, sometimes it you know, I understand, and like there are those things where most people do not know how the bread is made. They just have it on their plate. Right. And it doesn't matter how hard it was to grow the why do I keep trying to do analogies?
Analogies.
Yeah, I'm a hungry boy, whatever. But like it is very hard to say like this is an impossible thing that exists. And at the same time, I fully, as a collector and as a film, like physical media fan, I fully understand why people would be frustrated at certain things. Like a lot of people don't like that we don't put slipcovers on everything. And there's a genuine reason behind that. And I love that we do this. We only do slipcovers when there is art that we cannot fit on a front and a back wrap. Or it's art that is salacious, you know, something like Enigma. We did a boobie version, and Retribution. As you can see, like there is the art for that, and then there's a reverse and another custom art. So you're getting 3 art pieces on this, and that justified the slip with Endgame and those. There is other art on the reverse, you know what I mean? Like we try to give you as much, and that's something that I love because we're keeping the focus on the film. We're keeping the focus on, that's why, like, I don't want to throw any other companies on the bus because everybody has their own techniques, own methods. But Vinegar Syndrome, you see those titles go up on sale, and then once the slip is gone, the price triples. But then they have it on their website for $12 during the sale, and no one buys it because they want the slipcover version. And there's other companies out there, Arrow, like people want those booklets, people want those version 1s, and like it's not about the movie as much as it is about the release. And while I understand that, and now I mean Arrow's kind of doubling down with that, they're going into Zavi having like complete like alternate versions, and I'm getting the art original versions of the Argento 4Ks. I'm a sucker, but you know, like
me
whatever.
too.
I mean, you say that, and I'll be honest, as a collector, aesthetics do play a factor in what I buy. I
totally understand.
I'm the person at like the brick and mortar stores taking out like 10 copies to find the best looking slipcover. If I want to drop like $25-$30 on something, it's better be the best condition.
About the slipcovers, and we are working 100%. Like there is, while we are a smaller company and we try to focus things, a lot of people have problems with our slipcovers being like tight and bent, and we found, fingers crossed, like a fix. It's very difficult.
I mean, and I've criticized certain releases from certain companies before, but by criticized I mean like, you know, for example, a couple of weeks ago we were doing the imprint slate, and I kept noticing on the imprint it's like they're keeping like the old audio that you would find on like the DVD versions of a lot of these movies, and I was just like, you're doing all that other extra work, and you're kind of slacking a little bit on the audio. And I mean, it's just a little nitpicky thing for me, but I'm like, you know, if we're upgrading these movies to Blu-ray, aesthetically, with you might as well have the audio be upgraded as well. not leaving the old 2.0 stereo tracks from DVDs from 20 years ago.
Yeah, their release of I Married a Monster from Outer Space, that was the first time where I was like, oh, they're getting this element, a dust bust like pass of like a digital restoration of dust busting, like getting rid of the speckles and stuff like that throughout the thing would have gone a million miles on making that the quintessential release. And I'm completely like of the mind of going, I'm so excited to get these movies on disc, on Blu-ray, sometimes making their DVD, like they haven't even had anything past VHS. Getting these releases is exciting. And I understand the want for them to be perfect, but a lot of it does fall into companies, whatever their like licenses is. Like I have no idea what the Paramount license is for them, but they're getting it to work and they're doing an amazing job of putting movies out to the point where now Paramount is like, these things are kind of big. Let's do them here in the States. Like, but to have Detective Story on Blu-ray, considering that movie is like notoriously hard to find, is insane.
Yeah.
It's in a box set.
Yeah, I was going to say I had to buy that whole damn box set for that thing.
Yep, same here. I did it though.
And now that I've bought the first one, now I feel like I need to buy the second volume that just released. So I'm like, But,
I feel you there.
But we're once again on a tangent.
But let's talk about aesthetics. Let's, I guess, go for Blood for Dracula.
100%. Sorry. I'll let you finish.
I was just say this was one of the later announcements from you guys that happened like kind of almost right before the sale.
Yeah, something that we've really started focusing on is, as you can tell with a lot of our bigger releases, quality of sets. Like Blood Island was an amazing set, but the case itself left a lot of people wanting. And, that was something that was a cheaper option, so we were able to keep the price lower, but we realized people were willing to pay the extra premium if we took the time in making these incredible like box sets, thicker, cork, chipboard in there, and just kind of following that up, like Lindsay Baker's set is, and Christopher Lee set. Those are both done with a great like cigarette box case, and
it's my favorite. I love it.
Al Adamson and Andy Milligan were both done with this like. We modeled it similar to the Alfred Hitchcock Masterpiece Collection, where it was a book inside, and I thought it was funny to be ironic, and Al Adamson gets the Masterpiece Collection. So we modeled it similar off of that. We are trying to up our game in that quality, and Santa Sangre blew people away as far as like the whole release, presentation.
Yeah.
I went to David with this is the exciting thing about being a physical collector is whenever David's like, this is a release I'm excited about, I'm like, okay, let's think. What are some other releases that would match this aesthetically? And I mean, to my left and to my right and behind me, I'm covered with physical media. And I love pulling out examples of great physical packages that are, number one, going to fit on your shelf. Sorry, Godzilla, that is ridiculous. It fits on your shelf.
I don't know where to put this thing.
How is Andrew?
I can't see it.
Andrew's somehow pulling this stuff like right off camera.
It's
he's not even getting up. It's insane.
I am buried in this stuff. I'm buried in this stuff.
By my trash box there, you'll see my Godzilla set, but my disc, I actually made a custom case that fits in my set, in my shelves, because it's just too ridiculous. I can't even fit it in an IKEA square. Come on, man. But like, I love pulling things. And I'm like, hey, this is how someone else did it, and this is what they did right. Here's what they did wrong. Let's try to mesh this together and make it cool. Like, we had a really fun idea for some other releases, and like, the fact that, number one, I've been in this stuff, and I know a lot of people have a lot of egos, and something that I love about working with Severin is there is no ego. It is, David is like, this is what people care about. Okay, I'm going to listen. Like, I come with passion, and he follows that passion. Or Kayla Janice, who is a producer, has a passion for, like, she did an amazing job with the kinky stuff. I can't wait
to. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get that bundle there for that month. Yeah.
And Kayla's documentary on folk horror is 3 hours and 15 minutes, and it has won audience awards.
Wow.
A movie longer than a Scorsese joint. a documentary about folk horror. And it's because she had that passion, and David was like, go with it. And that's working in a company like that is so special, and that is why I'm so happy to be part of it. And so I go to David with all these ideas, and he listens, and it just makes me feel like my voice matters, and I see the response from the people buying that kind of stuff. So when Santa Sangre killed as far as like an audience pleaser, people were stoked on the presentation, people were stoked on the film itself, the bonus features, and all this stuff. Like, we knew like that worked, so we wanted to do the same thing when it came to another film that David has had on his bucket list of films to get, which it is an absolute Shogun release. Like, this thing, it's incredible. From art that he got made and he loves so much that he actually bought the original piece, and it's up in our office.
Nice.
And it's like, to the bonus features, which are brutally honest. Paul Morrissey does not hold back, and it is fucking amazing. We got Udo Kier and Claudio Gizzi, like an old interview with him cut to be for this, and like the original soundtrack with deleted sounds pieces that were made for the film but never used. And the 4K presentation, like, that was one where we learned a lot when it came to Alex de la Iglesia Pictures on how to do 4K. It was a very expensive lesson, but we learned. Like, we went through elements and scans and color corrections and colorists, and we go into it on that episode of the podcast if you want to go back and listen to that. But on Santa Sangre, we also felt like we did great, but everyone wasn't stoked on the presentation being in SDR. And so we learned, and we worked with a person in Germany who is the premier. He's been doing 4K UHD on releases over there for years. Like, he's the go-to person over there, and we worked with him and his aesthetic and his concept of what 4K is to older films, and it matched with ours. We don't want it to be a feature film in 4K HDR. We want the 4K HDR to bring the feature film to life.
Yeah.
And there's a color space in 4K HDR that can't be met on Blu-ray, where you can manipulate and make it what the director originally intended and how it should have looked. And it is like, we couldn't send 4K screeners to the people who got the reviewers, because it's a very expensive process, number one, and not everyone has a 4K player. And if we're going to invest the money into doing that, we want to make sure everyone can view it that way. It's still very new for everybody. But even the Blu-ray release that we put out, people were floored, talking about just how much of an upgrade. I mean, it's not hard to be an upgrade, considering I think it was DVD was the last time it was out there, and where technology is now. But getting to work with the original camera negative in 4K with the 4K HDR 100% in mind, knowing where to go, what to do, who to work with, created this geostorm of that's right. I went geostorm.
Yeah. Please reference that movie. Yeah.
When this took this geostorm and did a hurricane heist and created a genuinely impeccable release of a film that now I cannot imagine ever missing out on. I'm so excited that Vinegar Syndrome is doing Flesh for Frankenstein, and I have never seen it. I'm so excited that they got to do it, because no one does it better than them, because they focus on the quality of the element first. They focus on the quality of, like, Joe Rubin over there says, if it's not original camera negative, it better like be a pristine element. Because he really wants it. He wants the best version of whatever movie it is, even if it's Cthulhu Mansion. It's got to be the best presentation. That's where we kind of differ, where we focus on kind of we curate our films to be heavily quality, and we suffer with some of the element quality, while he focused very strongly on, like, he has his brand, so he knows what he's looking for. They know what they're looking for over there, but they really want the best presentation, where we're both fighting to make definitive editions. You know what I mean? And David, this is genuinely one of it. He has 5 copies of the VHS in his office, and he's had them there. He's apparently got more in London at his mom's house. So, like, this is like a film, and there is no one else who could release this with the passion and gusto that David has. So, that being said, I haven't even said what the movie is about, but yeah,
well, I mean, look, they're interested. The glowing review, even without really talking about the movie, I think it's going to get people are on IMDb now. Like, what is that? What is he talking?
Blood for Dracula. I watched the movie in time for this episode, and yeah, this movie's probably going to look absolutely stunning once people get their hands on this release. I know it just came out. It's available during the sale for the first time, and people will probably start getting their copies in the following weeks and months and whatnot, and whenever. But yeah, this is a pretty cool. This is going to be an interesting movie. Just the palette of this movie is going to be so sumptuous for that 4K UHD format, especially that I can't wait to see that blood red for the first time, because there's a lot of blood in this movie, so that red's gonna pop.
Blood from whores, apparently.
Paul Morrissey is a fucking genius. This movie, like, it is hysterical. It is so fun.
Well, wait until you watch Flesh of Frankenstein. You're gonna.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
He did that one before this one. I was reading up, like, when that one was done, I think like the next day he was starting this movie already. Yes. And it has like someone, like, I'm pretty sure it probably has the same crew, I think Udo Kier was in both movies. Udo Kier is such an underrated actor, just because we don't see him in a lot of stuff, and people don't realize that he's been acting for decades. Yeah. And it's just him as Dracula is such a perfect match for that character.
He's got the perfect best look. The best, worst Dracula. And I say that as in he is not what you think of as Dracula. He is weak. He is a baby. He's whiny. You have to leave the castle to find a wife. Well, I'm taking my birds and my books. I don't care what you say. And it's like, shut up. It's so good.
He just started, like, he complains about everything. And it's like, this is supposed to be Dracula, the cool badass vampire that every vampire is basically based on for all of history. Yeah, no, it's the complete opposite.
I told Andrew, for some reason, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I think his accent comes off as Tommy Wiseau, and like I feel like Tommy Wiseau saw these movies and was like, that's how I want to be in my movies.
So, that's cool that you think Tommy Wiseau is acting.
Yeah, it is.
Well, people think he's a vampire anyway, so who knows?
No, Paul Morrissey they were originally both supposed to be in 3D. Flesh of Frankenstein was very tough, and so they decided they were going to do 2D. There were some issues with production, and Udo was not meant to be Dracula, but due to some other situations, the perfect choice was made because Udo is so great. And this is the second mid-year sale where we've had Udo come out, and people slept on Theater Bazaar. They weren't necessarily stoked on it, and I urge people to go back and take a look at that sale, because people who did take the plunge were very happy with the purchases. They were very surprised at how much they enjoyed it. There was one guy on our Facebook page who was like, I don't know what these movies are, but I'm going to give them a shot. And then, like, over the weeks, he was like, these are amazing. This was way cooler than I thought, and stuff like that. But Udo he's genuinely an incredible actor. And he was so great and surrounded by such a great cast who all work together to create just an amazing, it's not just a film, it's a work of fucking art. And yeah, I can't encourage people to buy this movie harder. Genuinely, it's awesome. It's a great release, and I'm sure it'll be around for a while if you miss it. So, but yeah, I think we it is a limited release, but we did a kind of the same thing Blue Underground does, where it's a limited release, but it's a large quantity. We were only allowed to do one pressing of it, sort of thing. So we wanted to make sure to have enough for people to discover, and seeing on forums and Facebook, people are going, I don't know who Udo Kier is. Like, I'm so excited they get to find out who he is through this fucking movie, and not through like Blade or something like that. Like, they get to see young Udo going ham. And that's such an exciting thing.
Yes. Awesome. Now we do have one more title, and this last title is the secret one that hasn't been revealed yet. But before we get into that, there was also a book that you guys released in this bundle, After the World Ends, which
Let me go get this.
Yeah. So this book actually went out of print for a second. And okay, Andrew 2's back. Okay, so
because this book is what is part of the two main bundles, the Nuclear Meltdown bundle, which has everything, and the Marauders bundle, which has just the 3 Marauders movies.
It's actually not available in the Everything bundle. It's just
it's not. I just saw that.
Bundle.
Yeah, I spoke too soon.
That's okay. No, a lot of people were kind of confused by that. Mainly it's because it's a US only exclusive thing that we worked with Pulse. So we got the book. It's a famous French post-nuke book. And we got it translated into English and worked with Pulse to make this happen. And part of our agreement was, we would take the US and they could, since it's their book, they can take care of the rest, and they offer worldwide shipping. So if you are out of the country and you don't have a way of ordering through Severin in a way that is, a workaround illegal, like, if anyone who orders imports know what I'm talking about. But if you can't, there is still a way to get it. So we wanted it because that is kind of the post-nuke trilogy, and the book is about that. We wanted it to be that, but we didn't want to make it so it was hard for people who just wanted the movies to get all the movies and just leave, so there are those 2 bundles, and the book is available. It was far more popular than we were expecting. Everyone thinks it was like a clever tactic. No, we genuinely kind of, it's an expensive venture to go into making books of the quality that this is. I was trying to find my copy of the French version here, but it's I think I brought it back to the office. But it is a very nice hard book. There's thick pages, and it really is worth the money. And anyone who's gotten the other books, like, we partnered with Fat Press and did a book on their book on Andy Milligan, and like it is. There was a Terrence Fisher book that came out with the Christopher Lee bundle, and like we've been very happy that people have been interested in these books, and like Andy Milligan was U.S. local, because as soon as you got it, you understood that thing weighs 150 fucking pounds, and shipping would be a nightmare for everybody. Yeah. So and it's also from a UK label, so there are ways of getting these books elsewhere if you're unable to get it through us, and we appreciate that you want to get it through us, but it is, we're trying to make it work for everybody, and you're not going to please everybody, and we know that. But the book is absolutely fucking awesome. It is in depth about the whole post-nuke genre, not just in Italy, but all over the world. And it's got great posters, great images, and it's just a great context book. So if you are interested in that kind of stuff, go for it, man. It is like, I love books. Like, I love, as I was saying, booklets, essays. The best thing about getting 88 is that essay that comes along with it. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not, but you learned something. And like, that's kind of the most fun thing. And to offer this book that has been extremely hard to find because it is in French only, having the ability to get it converted to English for the first time and translated and done well. I'm so excited, and please get it any way you can.
Awesome. Yeah, I know Andrew's a big book guy too. You get a lot.
Yeah, I do collect books as well. Like you say, there was a very, very high demand for it, and I think like it sold out pretty quick. Like
Yeah, and then
straight
people,
off the bat.
so it sold out, and then people got mad that we added more. They were like, "Well, screw you guys!" And it was supposed to be limited. I'm like, "Well, so you were gonna scalp it? Like, why are you mad that other people can also get this thing?" I don't know. That's a like collector culture part. I understand. Limited is limited. People got mad. People get mad. People move on, and I think at the end of the day, people get the book, and that's what's important.
That's what's important.
Well, it is still pretty limited, I think, from just even the extra batch that you guys got. It's still,
I think limited. It was limited. We got another 400 copies from Pulse. We worked another deal, and I think that those went up. And I think there should still be some available on the site. And if they sell out, again, who knows? Maybe we'll. I don't know if we'll be able to make another request, because I think we're doing it just for the sale. I don't think it's something that's going to live on our site for a long time. So I think that also kind of went into it.
Right. I can confirm, because I'm on the site right now. I've been on the site like this whole time. It's a little peek behind the curtain. But both the Marauders bundle and the book itself separately are still available currently as of this recording
as of 9:36 p.m. East
on
Coast
June
time.
26th. As of this moment in time. But Stephen, moving on now, I guess to the mystery
now
title.
this is Mr. Andrew Furtado here is gonna reveal the last title.
I'm no longer Andrew too. This is crazy.
I figured now you're important.
I figured since this is such an important thing, I want to make sure the right Andrew's involved. But Andrew 2, aka Andrew Furtado, is going to reveal this last title, the 9th. It's a Blu-ray that is going to get released at midnight tonight on the 26th. So he has been gracious enough to reveal what this last title is, and so throw it at us.
So long story short, this film, it is a surprise title because we've gotten very positive reviews on doing exclusive slips for movies that are knockoffs. Like we did a great Terminator 2 slip, which Robert Patrick once saw and was like, "Did you guys get this cleared?" So they're riskier slips, so we're obviously not able to fully promote it on our website because we're kind of like, under the radar. If anyone asks, can I see the Jaws 5 slip? I'm like, are you a cop? I just want to know. There is a limited secretness to it, and so people have kind of already figured it out, but I will definitely confirm. It is 100% La Casa 5, aka Evil Dead 5, aka Beyond Darkness, which is directed by the one, the only Claudio Troll 2 Fragazzo, who he was in a stable of people like Bruno Mattei and of doing ripoffs. The hint we gave on our podcast was that Laura Gemser did the costumes for this, and she only did the costumes for a few films, and funny enough, 2 of those were Claudio Fragazzo ripoffs of other movies, like Reanimator 2 was one of them, and Evil Dead 5. So we made a really cool Evil Dead 5 slip for this that is very similar. If you guys are tweeting this before this airs, I'm gonna go
no,
nuts.
I'm not no.
But
no, I'm just looking up the movie.
Okay, so it is another one that I didn't fully understand, but it is it's just, if you know Bruno Mattei, you know how he loves to take one part of a film, mix it with another part of a different film, and then end it with the best part of a completely different film. This movie is The Exorcist meets Poltergeist meets Amityville. So it's 1/3 each act is a different pull from a different movie. I won't say which is which, but it is ham. It's got a priest. I guess it also mixes in a little bit of The Omen in there, where there's a priest who's questioning his faith, played by David. What's his name? David Bryan, I believe his name is. Let me check.
Brendan.
David Brendan. Sorry, thank you, David Brendan, who is questioning his faith. who has to help a family who moved into a house and they're being possessed and they can't figure out what's going on. And it's wild. David Brendan's also being haunted by ghosts of his past, and it's wild. And we got a really great element. We were able to restore and color it to match, and we got Claudio Fragazzo. But yeah, we got some great bonus features on there. And I think if anyone already has the Shout Factory release, it was a double film on a BD50. So each film, and I think they had a couple bonus features, but that was it. This film, and if anyone has the 88 version, I believe we got a different element. I cannot fully remember.
Okay.
It has been a bit. So I believe we definitely did a new color correction, and we did a restoration pass. So while it is kind of a smoky, atmospheric film, we were able to pull some grain out and try to give you as good of a quality element as you deserve, mixed with bonus features. This is on a BD50 and it's filled, man. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Even if you don't, hopefully you want the slipcover, because those are really fun. Like our Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, which was originally supposed to be a Texas Frightmare weekend exclusive, blew up to the point where we ended up selling out some on our website, and they don't come very often. So yeah, like that's all I can really say about it. But yeah, it is La Casa 5, aka Beyond Darkness, confirmed.
Oh, confirmed. Okay,
some
now
people-
now
Nice.
Twitter. Now Twitter. No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
Awesome, man. Well,
I'll kill you. No, I'm just kidding.
no,
Yeah.
we
We're about
wouldn't do
to
that.
get
We wouldn't do
get
that to you.
sued.
It's going to take me a minute.
There
It's going
was
to take me.
a website that unfortunately leaked a review of it a
Yeah.
little early, and Dawn of the
Oh.
Discs popped in immediately because they've got
Yeah.
a Google alert for anything with the word physical. They are quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it got out there, but I think people were like, excited nonetheless to see what the cover looks like. So
Sure, yeah,
there's
yeah,
that.
definitely. All right, well, this has been a fantastic conversation, man. It's been great having you on, getting a lot of inside knowledge about Severin, and just geeking out about physical media has been awesome with you, man.
Well, I had a lot of fun too. It's my wife is tired of hearing it, so having more people to talk about it is always
Well,
exciting.
tell her we're done. We're done. I know it's crazy. I know, but so where can we find you?
Honestly, I don't tweet too much myself. I mean, I'm more active on Letterboxd, me personally, but if you're interested in any of this stuff or want to talk film, please follow us at Severin Films. You can follow me at Andrew Furtado. That's Andrew Furtado, but the D is a C, and it means hairy vagina. It's hard to forget. And then my Letterboxd is the same thing. I'm always on there watching stuff. I love movie recommendations. I love talking to people about films, Blu-rays especially. I just encourage people to get out there and blind buy. That's one of my favorite things to do.
Dude,
like,
it's
it
what I
costs
do.
the same as a movie ticket,
That's all I do.
That's all I do too, man. I love getting something new, and sure, there are a few rainy days, but god damn it, when you find that sunny day, it's a great fucking experience.
It is definitely.
Curious if there's any, before we fully leave, I'm actually kind of curious, are there any movies recently that you guys have seen that were blind buys that completely took you by surprise?
Andrew, do you got anything? I
Um,
have to hop on my letterbox to
Yeah, I was saying, hop on my
Letterboxd.
Letterboxd
Look
as
at what
well.
I've recently watched.
complete blind buys physical media wise.
Yeah, physical media, like that's
What's it, about a week and a half ago or so was my birthday, so I loaded up on a bunch of movies, and I finally got my hands on the Vincent Price Collection Volume 1 re-release that Shout Factory did last year, because I had wanted that first release forever, but it long got a print. Anywho, I watched The Abominable Dr. Phibes for the first time.
so
And I
great.
know that's a big one. That's a big one of Vincent Price's filmography, and it's a movie. It's wild. It's basically like Vincent Price doing a quasi Phantom of the Opera. I mean, Joseph Cotton was in it, and Joseph Cotton's like one of my favorite one of my favorite actors of all time. So that was really cool to see. I really dug that, and that was probably the most recent one.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, like I got a couple here, but I would say the biggest one would be watching Six String Samurai.
That's another one.
Yeah, from Vinegar Syndrome. That release is amazing. And that movie.
so excited.
Yeah, that movie is.
dollar.
I have a friend of mine, Julian Morgan, who's a big like samurai. He's into samurai films and things like that. And I was like, dude, have you seen this movie? And he's like, no. I was like, you got to come over next week, buddy. So it's got samurai, it's got rockabilly, it's got that whole lone wolf and cub thing going. How amazing that movie looks. Like the visuals is stunning to me. Like I was like, how has this not been out here, like out in the forefront for so long? I mean, it's been like over 20 years to wait for this movie to finally get like a prime restoration, and
it comes out on 4K.
And it's fine. It goes from basically being unknown, and it has a DVD, to going straight to 4K, and you're like, well, thank God for Vinegar Syndrome. I mean, it's like
it jumped a few steps there, but thank goodness it did. It's a hell of a release.
Hell yeah, I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, and the special feature making of in there is like almost the length of a movie, and it's amazing. It's a great
it's like
feature.
4 parts. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of fans over there at Vinegar Syndrome of that movie. So, of course they're going to go all out for that one.
Yes.
If you have not picked it up, Fun Cities Edition's version of Smile, that was a complete blind buy. I left so fucking happy. I went back and I bought all the other Fun Cities editions because it was everything I wanted it to be. Funny, weird, strange, of its time, beautiful. I've quoted it multiple times already. There's certain labels where you can trustfully blind buy, I feel, and Imprint is one of those where if you at all go, that looks kind of interesting, chances are you're gonna fucking love it. Vinegar Syndrome is pretty fun to blind buy from. It is tough at times because for every champagne and bullets there is a Cthulhu mansion. I did not like Cthulhu mansion at all. But every once in a while they also get something like Scary Tales, which was like 100% blind buy for me. And if you have not seen it, if you are not a shot on video horror person, or if you are, this is a definite. You've got to see it.
Okay.
I'm telling you. There are so many of our films that I would recommend people blind buy. Specifically, Horror of Party Beach is an absolute gem. I love that one. I'm not going to tell you much about it other than there are original songs, baby. And one of them's called The Zombie Stomp. Come on. You got to get in there. There's Invasion of the Blood Farmers. That one's fucking great. Strike Commando. You will not go wrong. Like, there's so many great movies. But one that genuinely does not get enough praise, in my opinion, is Boys Next Door, which is...
Yeah.
I love Penelope Spheris. I think she's an amazing filmmaker, and this is unbelievable. It is violent, real, great performances. Charlie Sheen, and what's his name from Grease 2, Maxwell Caulfield, and they share stories in the commentary on there about how Martin Sheen came to this set a few times, was like, Charlie, you don't need to do this. You can leave. Like, just go. Like, this isn't going to be a good move, but it is an incredible film of just pure, unadulterated, bleak look at like the creation of a serial killer, to the point where Penelope isn't a huge fan because she feels like she went too far. And that I understand, because like she made films very lighter, like Dudes and Wayne's World later on, but this was right after Suburbia. And I mean, she's made one of my favorite documentaries of all time, Decline of Western Civilization Part 2. Anytime you put fucking Ace Frehley in a bed full of fucking women and the bird's eye view shot, or put like Lemmy on a giant hill with his fucking Captain Morgan stance and have him interview, she's amazing. I mean, and this is a great film.
He was. Andrew was just talking about buying that film.
I have it currently in my cart on Severin right now.
Dude, tell me what you think when you watch it.
I became a big fan of Penelope Spheris because I just went like down a rabbit hole of like those 3 documentaries, Suburbia, just all of that stuff. And I was just like, yeah, this is a really good filmmaker that doesn't get people only really remember from Wayne's World. And it's like, no, her previous work was really good. It's contemporary. Like you said, it's very bleak, but it's unique.
Yeah.
It's really good stuff.
She does not like really talking about Boys Next Door, but Maxwell Caulfield really does. And he was very excited that we were doing this. We had a great element from the original camera negative, and he worked with us to get Penelope involved, and she was very honest, very real. And we got bonus features and tons of fun stuff on there. It's 100% worth it. I'm telling you.
Awesome. Well, we thought we were done, but we had more recommendations for you.
I know.
I could go for 6 hours.
We could do it, man. Hey, we just need to bring you on again, if that would be something you would be into. But yes, I guess you said your things. And Andrew, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Capzilla06, as well as my YouTube channel, Capzilla Productions.
And you can find me on Facebook, Stephen Billings. You can find all the stuff for the podcast on Instagram at Chasing Labels Pod. You can find the Twitter, I guess. I mean, I'm on there mostly retweeting. I don't tweet a lot of things like, like Andrew number 2 said. I don't want to offend him by not calling him Andrew number 2.
Yeah, thank you. Please, my proper name.
Yeah, your proper name, yeah. And but you can find that at Chasing Labels over there. And you can follow me on Letterboxd, I guess. I sometimes post things there, but you can find the audio for this podcast on Podbean, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts. Apparently, we're having some trouble with some of these other audio like Overcast and things. We're working on fixing it, but I haven't submitted to them. They just kind of pull from other feeds, so I don't know what they're getting. But yeah, you can find it on all the major stuff. But that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks once again for listening, and hey, keep on watching them movies.
I know I will.